The question is, did I even connect stuff? Yes, I did. Good. I did my basic job. Oh my god. For a second there, because I don't know. I'm doing so many things at the same time that I kind of forget what I'm doing half the time, chat. And so I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? Where am I? Who am I? And here we are, talking about Helldivers 2. Oh, what a day. What a crazy day. Where I just have been running all over the place mentally. So, we'll be talking about Helldivers 2 today, and you'll notice something, probably glaringly obvious, is that Helldivers 2 is, at current reviews, recently viewed as mostly negative. Harlan
So
gives the membership. Thank you for the gift of membership. Very
that's the
generous.
second membership today.
Yeah, very much appreciate it. Oh, you gifted one before? Oh, thank you for the other one as well. We appreciate it. But yeah, so
Now,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you go down to the reviews, because I heard about this, it seems the negative reviews are all people who've played 40 plus hours, whereas positive reviews coming in are people who basically don't play the game or played it for very little.
Well, yeah, that's gonna. Okay, so it's interesting that you bring that up. But so when it comes to the negative reviews versus the positive reviews, right? It's going to be skewered that way because people who are in the early game are having a lot of fun, right? There might be some exceptions like this fella here, but like yeah, 1 hour, 70 hours, and they get a couple hundred hours. But that's the reason for this is because again, it has to do with like not creative assembly. God damn it, Arrowhead's like statements and whatnot. And the reality is that people are, you know, basically getting tired and fed up of the constant back and forth from the studio, right? They'll buff things for the players, then they'll, backhandedly go a different direction with this or try to make it harder in that regard. And the issue is that by buffing enemy stuff, by trying to go in the opposite direction or it effectively nerfs the players like when you do that. The issue is that how do I put this in a polite way? Arrowhead is incompetent, is the reality. They don't really know how to balance their game. They've made a really fun game. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I love this game to death, absolutely. But my biggest problem with it is actually that as well. It's the issue of they'll introduce items and weapons, and then they'll also be buffing enemies or constantly making changes when some things were perfect already or were nice the way they were and it was fine, like the hive guard thing, like having the head the way it was fine, but it randomly got buffed for no reason. It didn't need a buff, it didn't deserve a buff, it didn't need to be buffed at all. And then they'll go on the opposite end of the spectrum and then like be like, but the player can't have a lot of stratagems, and the player can't bring whatever mechs they want, or we're not going to patch the fact that the flesh mob can charge through walls, or we're not going to fix the
Or
part
we'll just
where
yeet it
the
through the
games
ground.
can't even some people can't even boot up the game because there's a massive flaw. We're not going to address the fact that our anti-cheat system is bad. And so instead of actually fixing the problems that have been festering for over 2 years now, they have simply ignored those problems. Many of those problems are still into the game. And they're focusing on introducing war bonds, and the war bonds are just becoming tiresome, and there's fatigue, and it's like, oh, here's another war bond, pay $10 or whatever, or grind super credits to unlock it. And it's just getting really tiresome. It is. Like, it's just annoying. Like, I'm going to say something, and this might be controversial, and it might not be, but I don't know. But in my opinion, Helldivers 2 is already how much? It's like, what, $40, right? It's kind of insane to think about that they have war bonds that have equated the price of the game double over, but those war bonds financially do not double the game's content value. In fact, they're barely a fraction of the game's base content value. All the war bonds combined equate to a fraction of the game, like literally. Like yeah, they add guns, yeah, they add like some like stratagems and stuff, but do they add new enemies? No. Do they add anything to the base game? No. Do they? What do the war bonds do? They nickel and dime you for basically weapons that kind of feel like you should kind of be getting them anyways for because you already bought the game, right?
I will also point out that there's only one free war bond, so the vast majority of equipment, and well, it's going to be eventually stratagems now that they're adding stratagems, vehicles and whatnot. The vast majority of the equipment is DLC. You have to pay money for.
Mhm. Yeah, 100%. And it's one of those things where I think Arrowhead kind of needs to figure out what the fuck they're doing. And that's the reality. What the fuck are you doing? Like actually, what the fuck is this? Like we don't get stratagems, we don't get free war bonds, we don't get any free content. Like I played, 944 hours of this game, right? That's a decent chunk, right? I'm at the late stage. I would be what would be called a late stage gamer, where many of you in my audience also have hundreds of hours in. You've gotten past the early game, you're already far in, and the reality is that there's no new content for us to experience besides like a war bond coming out. But like, there's no way to progress the stuff I have already. There's no meaningful changes to things. For example, what do I mean by meaningful systems, right? So let's open up something here and we'll talk about it real briefly. So I'm going to open up this thing. It's called the companion app, right? This is where you can see like the galactic map and stuff. What has meaningfully changed with the galactic map? What new systems and ways can I interact with this map in the metagame besides doing major orders? And the answer is actually rather obvious and rather clear and straightforward. Nothing. The biggest thing that they added that was recent was they added the fact that there are cities on some of these worlds that you can go to and you can fight on. And those cities will help you capture the planets faster. They've added a couple things, but they've added like nothing new mechanically, right? There's no clan space stations. That feature was more or less canceled. Um, the DSS is like, okay, well, it's majority rules. So it's like, it kind of sucks, right? The DSS is cool, but fundamentally, it's a majority rule system because it's a direct democracy system, meaning that our impact on it is basically negligible at best, right? And the other problems with the Galactic War system that have not been addressed is the Galactic War modifiers, right? So, for example, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but when I last read this, it worked the same way. The Galactic War and the progress we make towards any one of which of these planets is based on the total population of all players active in the game at that period. That means that anybody who is, let's say the major objective is Frontiera, right? Anybody who is on Heath, anybody who is on Cirrus, all 453 people on Akamar are also being tracked as active in the game, and so they're actually hurting the progress of liberating Frontiera, right? And the planets aren't actually having a localized effect, meaning that yeah, there's 453 people here, but they're not physically able to actually do anything because it's affected by the total players. These 453 people are losing this planet. They will never succeed. They will never win this planet. It's going down by 0.2%. It doesn't matter how hard they try, right? And so the issue with that is like, okay, so what's your contribution? So you're like, it's a participate or don't participate. And if you don't participate, now you're effectively hurting those people because, yeah, this is only 453 people here, but there's 1,000 people here. There's 60 people here. There's 175 people here. And there's, a few thousand others on other worlds that are not active. And if you add them up, it's like 10,000 to 15,000, sometimes 20,000 players who aren't active near any major orders. That adds up and basically means, mathematically speaking, that we're going to lose because, well, the game is factoring that all players are participating when in fact only a fraction of the population is actually participating in the event. And because that's how this game works, it means that no matter what you do, if not everybody's participating, it doesn't matter. You're going to lose. And that's ultimately really, really, really bad. That's terrible game design. And that's something they got to work on. Let's see. Separate Command says the DSS only lets you pick 8 to 10 planets to go to, a majority of which are always big planets. 1 or 2 bot planets. Oh, you mean bug planets, I see. Those typo. And 1 squid planet. Yeah, I don't know. Like the DSS, my issue with the DSS is the DSS is fine for like major stuff, but the clan stations, at least theoretically speaking in my mind, was going to offset the fact that okay, sure the major population will be pushing the big thing around, but everyone's going to have like their clan carrier ship or capital ship or their clan station or something, right? To offset the fact that smaller groups of people, like maybe 100 or a couple hundred communities, or even like 10 or 4 people, right, would still feel like they could do something because they have something to contribute, but it's not. And that's an issue. Stern
So
Rat says, let's see if
basically,
I'm gay.
the
Go ahead.
war map has the same issues the first game had, which shows that they didn't really learn anything from it. Of You'll have a massive influx of people play, they'll blitz down a faction in the first game, and then like everyone just leaves because like, oh, I just wanted to fight bugs, and now there's no bugs. But also, and it just counts war score based on the total number of players, and it sometimes wouldn't even update once everyone leaves. So now it's like, okay, it's impossible to win any other front, and so you just lose.
Yep. And so, like, if every, and that means like everybody got to participate in the major order. But the issue is some people will be fatigued, or like for example, the disastrous launch of Cyberstan, which, well, Cyberstan was a lot
Actually, I
of
have
fun.
something to talk about that then.
I know. Hold on. But the thing about Cyberstan is that people were fatigued. Cyberstan wasn't poorly. It was poorly designed. That's the reality. It was kind of a fuck up on their part, and this is because no proper QA, no proper testing. They launched this thing. It sucks, right? Like we lose, and it feels like we lose because people who don't participate are now counting against us. And I don't even blame the people who don't want to play that map. Like maybe people don't like fighting automatons. The game needs to be tailored in such a way that it respects the player's time and respects the player's choice, right? So if the players who choose to participate in the bug front want to fight against the bugs, awesome. Great. We should put like event orders for them. Each front should theoretically have their own operation stories. It shouldn't just be, all right, so like the bugs and the Illuminate are just sitting there, like fucking, I don't know, playing cards or something, while the automatons are taking their turn in the story. You don't have to necessarily introduce new like units or like planets or like mission types, like crazy things. It could just be like little things like, oh, there's an operation or offensive going on here or something. And they do have that sometimes, but it often feels like they don't really pay any heed to it, especially if you read the MOs and stuff. It kind of feels like it's kind of glossed over. And one of those things that they should probably expand on is making so that every front feels like it's incorporated. And Cyberstan again was one of those issues of like poor communication, bad balancing. Like what the hell? Vox engines like replaced all the vehicle slots, and Vox engines themselves being kind of glitchy and able to shoot through things. And again, like the issue with these sort of bugs is that it feels like you're robbed, and you're robbing the players of a fair game because the enemy AI thing that you've introduced is actively cheating. Like for example, flesh mobs being able to run through obstacles to grab the player, that's cheating. Like that is cheating. You're cheating the player because the world is supposed to be bound by rules, right? And if the player gets stuck on an object or has to climb over an object or run around it, and something can run through that object, how is that fair for the player? And they never really address it. Like when they make these mistakes, the developers, do they do anything to really? They do sometimes throw bones, like bonus missions or something, but they gotta like be like, all right, dudes, like, hey, we kind of messed up, right? Like it happens. You're human. You made a mistake, dude. We kind of messed up the Vox engine thing, so we're just not going to count any of the progress that was marked against you for this day because we did a whoops. We did a whoops, and we're just gonna give you like it'll reset that lost progress tomorrow, and don't worry, we'll have it fixed then. Boom, problem solved. Yeah, some people will be whiny and gropey or grimy about it, right? But like the reality is that yeah, sometimes things happen, and you got to change things, right? Kasovic donates 5 Kanaki Buckies to say, oh, wait, no, he's not Canadian. $5 American to say this game must die for it refusing to fix issues. It has had almost a year. No, I don't believe in extremities, like doing stuff like that. Also, hello,
There's
folks.
another
Thing of the Nation.
donation.
Where?
Samper Tantrum donates $230
Very generous.
for a Lycanfish commission pre-order and to buy the Chatfish from me, which will only go into effect if the daily is made,
Yes.
which we are on today's goal.
All right. Very good. Thank you for your donations. But yeah, the big thing is that a company, does stuff. Now, the thing is, when it comes to changes or fixing things, there are issues with the game that they got to address. There are issues that they got to fix. And they got to focus on those issues rather than pumping out new content. I'll be real. Like, you can pump out all the new content you want, but it's not going to help if you don't fix pre-existing bugs. They really need to stop focusing on war bonds. Honestly, they kind of need to stop war bonds. I'm of the opinion, and this might be a radical opinion, but I think many people might echo the sentiment, and I think it's something that we should have a discussion on. We should stop with war bonds. I think war bonds should stop.
The problem, especially with the current war bond system, the major problem with every war bond is ultimately there's like one or two things in the war bond that's good, and or is it nerfed like basically
No more war
afterwards?
bonds. Like, just stop fucking making war bonds. Genuinely stop. Stop making them. No more. Fuck off. Just make fucking content for the game, please. Stop fucking nickel and diming me for fucking patches. And the worst part is you're nickel and diming me for patches that don't even fucking work. Like, it's frustrating, right? And this is coming from somebody who loves this game to death, and I do. This game is better than Halo. It's better than any game on the market when it comes to sci-fi shooters. There is nothing that holds a candle to Helldivers 2.
Mechanically, yeah.
Yeah, mechanically. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. I suppose I should clarify, yeah. There's
Well, yes,
nothing that holds a
clarify.
goddamn candle to this game. There isn't. There isn't anything. What, you want me to go play Marathon? I'd rather fucking die. Like, Arc Raiders? No,
Well, good
thank
news.
you.
I don't think you will be able to for very long.
Like, this game scratches an itch that no game does. And the issue is that you kind of have a monopoly on this because nobody else is making something. Now, granted, it's a monopoly because no other developer has been able to produce something like this, and this is a truly special game, but it's one of those things where I think you really need to just stop fucking making war bonds. Genuinely stop. Like, I'll be real, like, I buy war bonds, and sometimes I grind super credits to get them, and I do it because I'm a streamer. And I do it because it's like, that was good for streaming for a while. But now that I notice that, it's not actually doing anything for streaming, and it's like, yeah, no, I just don't really care anymore. I've been fatigued with the war bond stuff for ages too. I don't care. Stop making war bonds. Fuck off with the war bonds. Just make content. You've made a fucking bajillion ass dollars. Quit milking the game and siphoning the incredible profits you make into another project. Because that's what you're probably doing. I'm calling it here, chat. They're siphoning all the money off of this project, and instead of investing hardly any of it back in, they're siphoning it probably to another game they're working on. And it's like, why the
Oh, they
hell?
straight up basically stated that
Yeah,
the
what?
P content, like it's a skeleton crew on Helldivers, and everyone else is working on the other project, Gibbs.
Mm, yeah, it's one of the,
Um,
it's that yeah, but that's the issue, right? This game you can't do that. This is an MMO. They have actually made an MMO here. That's what this game is. What did World of Warcraft do? Did World of Warcraft siphon a skeleton crew to WoW after World of Warcraft came out? No. What did they do? They made an expansion. What was the expansion called? Burning Crusade. People were like, "Wow, Burning Crusade, so much fun!" And then what did they do? Did they take the money and siphon it and move on to the next thing? No. What did they do? They made fucking Wrath of the Bitch King. All right, that was fucking awesome. What did they do after that? They made Cataclysm, etc., etc. They don't like this. Isn't a game. This isn't like Halo 1. This isn't like Halo 2, where you made a game and you're done with it and you can move on, because that's what they're treating it like. And if you do that with this game here, what's going to happen is that no one's going to have any faith in your next game. Yeah, a lot of people are going to buy it and they'll be like, wow, it's fun. But then, like, everybody, even the lowest common denominators, the idiots, are going to realize that, oh, wait, what? They're abandoning this one too? Yeah, because they abandoned the previous one. Like, that's the issue. You can't just abandon it. And that's why you can't just put out war bonds. Like, you are making a huge profit. This game is uncontested. This game is uncontested. It is the best game on the market. There is nothing that holds a candle to it when it comes to sci-fi shooters. Nothing. And the reality is you are sitting on a golden goose. And all you need to do is actually just build on that foundation. Now, I will say a lot of things they have done have been actually really good. For example, the introduction of factories and mega factories, awesome. The introduction of super Earth cities, awesome. The introduction of new planets and biomes, awesome. The new planets and biomes are really good. The new vehicles they've added are also really good. They're actually a lot of fun. But what's annoying is that everything's locked behind a warbond. Everything's paywalled. And so it kind of feels a little bittersweet. Most of the things in this game are good. They are good. And that's just a matter of fact. The game is worth playing. The game is fun. But the issue the game suffers from is that there's these little niggling little things that are like sitting there, staring at you, being big, ugly problems, and are not being addressed. And the issue is those little tiny problems are slowly getting bigger. Not that the problem itself is worse than what it was, but now there's another little tiny problem right next to it. And now there's another little tiny problem next to that. This is Arrowhead's 15th downfall. And that's the thing, right? You bring up an excellent point, Sandro. Arrowhead has a track record, and we've established this track record pretty well. This is a really good time to play this game. This is a really bad time to play this game. I do believe this statement 100%. You will only get one opportunity, chat. You only get one game like this, and you will never get another game like this. I will give you an example of this. World of Warcraft. If you were there for it when it was good, you know. If you weren't there, you missed out, and you will never, not ever, never, ever, ever, will you ever get another chance to play that game. And it's actually lamentable that that's the case. I wish it wasn't so. If you were there for Halo when Halo was a thing, you experienced something tremendous. But if you weren't, you missed out. Or if you weren't born, you're born later, that sucks. Like, you just missed out. You'll never experience Halo as it was.
Damn.
In the same vein that
wasn't born in
Helldivers 2, Helldivers 2 is in this period now where it is in what we call the zeitgeist. It's one of those games that you should experience it while it's around. Because once it disappears, it will be gone. It's not a social fad. It's not some sort of like fad game. It's just the reality. There are games when they hit their zenith point and it's just like a really good experience. And if you miss that experience, you will never get that again. You will never get it. And most of you who know what I'm talking about, you know exactly what I'm saying. It's like that was a peak. That was an experience we'll never get again. Diablo, same thing. Halo, same thing. Killzone, same thing. Like literally every major game, and even minor game. If you were there, you understand. If you weren't, you'll never get it. And you'll never get it ever. So it's one of those things that's one of the risks with games like this, right? Anything that's multiplayer is going to suffer from this. Single player games aren't going to have the same issue, right? When it comes to Halo, you can still experience the single player campaign, and it's still going to be the way you remember it, but you're never going to get the multiplayer experience. You're never going to understand what it was like to be there in Halo 3's multiplayer or Reaches. Like, those are gone. I was there for them. Some of you were there for them. But if you weren't there, you'll never get it. And even if you were there, it's gone now. We'll never get it back. It's never coming back. It's the same for World of Warcraft, right? Wrath of the Lich King. Like, if you were there for it, you were there for it. And it was something special. But it's gone now. It's the same for Star Wars. If you were there for the launch of Revenge of the Sith and those movies, you understand. You can watch them now, but they'll never be the same. Same goes for Lord of the Rings. Everything only gets one shot to be fresh. Nier Automata only had one shot to be fresh. Once you've done it, once you've played it, you've experienced the peak experience of that game. Its value is still there. It's still valuable. But it's no longer going to be as special as it was. Stormrat says, and been a member for 10 months, says, yes, I am sad. I missed Creek. Also, don't count gifted. No worries. Thank you for the membership. Yeah, that's
also a donation.
That's one of the downsides. Yep, I'm scrolling up. I'm doing it now. Buckabush $25 say my opinions are validated every day for not returning to Helldivers. Not necessarily. I think you've missed out on things you'll never get back. That's just the reality. You've missed out, and you're never going to get those experiences. But that's the issue with games like this, right? They are FOMO, fear of missing out. But the game isn't dead. Right? The game's not dead. The game isn't collapsing and it's not disappearing. The game is experiencing a massive amount of backlash because all those tiny little problems have finally reached a bubbling point. And now that they've reached a bubbling point, it's now become something that now is a time to push for positive change. Now is the time for constructive criticism. Now is the time to be as vocal as humanly possible about your discontent. The things you don't like about this game, you should be vocal about. This game is awesome, and there is a good chance that a lot of these things can be fixed today. But it's incredibly important that you be vocal in your grievances. Not being able to play the game is one such grievance. There's a couple people I know that can't even get the game to run anymore because they've changed it. And I don't know why that is, but they should probably investigate it. There's like a lot of problems, and you should be vocal and you should be posting on forums to make your voice heard so that other people can signal boost that. And this is important because being vocal is the only way you're going to get this. Because I'm going to tell you this right now, and it's going to be a hard pill to swallow, but you got to accept it. You're never going to get another game like this. Ever. And that doesn't mean you need to sit there and eat whatever shit they slop at your direction, by the way, either. That doesn't mean you have to go like, I got to hold my nose and deal with whatever crap they're going to throw at us. That means that being vocal is better than doing nothing. Because at least you're voicing your discontent with what's wrong. You don't like the war bonds. I've got war bond fatigue out the wazoo. I'm ready for war bonds to fucking take a hike. I'm sick of them. I don't want war bonds in this game anymore. I feel like I've already paid enough money to you, Arrowhead, for this game. Because, like, you keep changing things, you keep twisting things, you keep, like, going back on a lot of these things, and it's really agitating. But yeah. Yeah, like the new vehicles are fun. Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, Chad.
So
Go ahead.
I do actually want to discuss something because I've been seeing a good bit of complaints around and a potential reason for some of these negative reviews coming in, and it's commenting about how tone deaf the devs are. Because I've been seeing people point out that one of the reasons, like, the Cyber thing went the way it was is because the Helldivers decided to try to save the Seaf troops. That was a secondary objective.
I thought that wasn't really.
And
I don't remember. It's been a while since we played. I do remember that.
I remember there was a Seaf thing, and like the community actually rallied to save the Seaf troops. I do remember that.
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, I
And
always enjoy. You mentioned that real quickly, and they always portray Helldivers as shooting Seaf in the back and stuff.
yes, then the new Warbond releases, and it's just us killing Seaf troopers, which is completely the opposite of how the community acts.
It's tone deaf. Yes,
it is.
it's because the writers of Helldivers are. This is the reality. It might be a hard pill to swallow. You're incompetent. You're an idiot because you don't understand what Helldivers 2 is. Helldivers 2, from a writer standpoint, from my view and my lens as somebody on the outside as a writer looking in, isn't about the story the developers write. That's actually secondary. In fact, no, that's tertiary. The reality is that Helldivers 2 is about the choices the players make and interact with the galaxy. And it's their choices that tell the narrative. It's their choices that tell us whether Super Earth is good or not. They chose to save the children's hospital. They chose to go rescue the encircled Seaf troopers that were being overrun. Time and time and time again, the players have chosen the narrative. The narrative is, and whether you like it or not, Super Earth is good. Sorry. Might be a hard pill to swallow. You're going to have to swallow your pride, but you're going to have to accept the reality. Super Earth are the good guys. Helldivers are also good guys. This might be painful. This might be difficult, but you have to accept it. Because if you don't accept it, it comes off as childish and pathetic. Because that's exactly what that Warbond trailer looked like for the new Warbond. Where they released a trailer showing off the fucking Seaf troopers getting blasted and stepped on and killed by Helldivers. And it kind of didn't feel funny or comical to me. It kind of felt a little insulting. Because I'm like, well, I don't really do that. Like, I genuinely don't try to go out of my way to shoot them. In fact, often when I see them, I try to help them. And I know most people try to help them. Yeah, there's obviously occasionally somebody who shoots them, or Indio's first game and he uses the Gatling gun on them, and starts lighting them up, and that was incredibly funny. But, like, and he missed, surprisingly. He missed every shot. But yeah, it's one of those cases where it's something you've got to understand about the narrative of a game, right? Some games, if it's a linear story like Star Wars, right, it was made by George Lucas, and so the story's kind of, it is what it is. It's, Luke's journey, and it's about that character, right? But Helldivers isn't about a character named Luke. It isn't about a character named Pycig. It's on a character named Doman. But it's actually about the actions of a group of players, not just one small group, the entire community. The Battle of Malevelon Creek, which again was immediately dwarfed by, the future battles and later. Like, it was actually one of the tiniest battles of the war, but still, it was important because people thought it was scary, right? Because it was like a jungle, it was nighttime, it was dark, it was hard to see, lasers were flying the trees. We streamed it, we were there. Like, it was a cool experience. It was like Vietnam in space, is what it was, and it was genuinely cool. And it's nothing like terribly like on like that battle didn't happen again. There were several battles that took place on Malevelon Creeks. None of them were named Malevelon Creek, but the reality is that these battles or maps or whatever were a bit different. They're just like different names of different planets, but it had a story because the players gave it this story, the narrative. The players being there is what made Malevelon Creek special. The name of the event is special, not because it was strategically important, but because of the players made it important to the story. They wrote the story. And the writers need to understand that the experience they're making must facilitate the player's experience. That's how it has to be. Polly's been around for 37 months, as Malevelon Creek was also the first example of the devs cheating. Hashtag Steiner. I mean, I don't recall, so I'm not going to really say they were or they weren't because I
Specifically,
don't
the
know.
Malevelon Creek stuff was
They let us
they
win.
ramped up the spawn point. Yes, we did win, but like it was practically the entire player base on Malevelon.
True.
But
True.
the spawn rates were completely
You raised an
fucked
excellent
on
point,
Malevelon.
Chumpa. So, you know how the plans will tell you like what their like resistance or how they're difficult they are? What they need to show is they need to show how many fleets, right, that the automatons have, like right here, you see them? And these fleets, and I hate how notice how they've just been stuck here, like they're not doing anything. Like what? Why are these guys not doing anything? They've been stuck here for months. How you want to tell me about World War II and like, oh yeah, so like that division just sort of sat there and didn't do anything. Were they fighting? No, they were just chilling in France while the Americans were advancing into fucking Germany. Like, don't worry about it. It's like what? But yeah, so it's one of those cases of like, again, they need to show more. This is why the Galactic map needs more information, right? Like, we should
This
see
is why
enemy
this
armies,
needs
troop
to not be a
presence.
skeleton crew.
Yeah, it needs to not be a skeleton crew running this game. The metagame needs to be deeper, more complex. We should see the Super Earth fighting strength. Like, there is 6 billion Super Earth armed forces troops here, right? That's not a lot. That's probably barely any on a planet scale, actually. There's like 11 billion here on Eucoria, right? But there's like 16 million, or no, 16 trillion like Illuminate here. And they're fighting an outnumbered battle because they have like zombies or whatever, right? And then that way you can see the actual numbers of what's actually happening here. Because again, with these vague systems, the skeletal framework of this is really cool and is actually amazing. No game has done this the
This
way
needs to
this game
actually be
is.
in the game, though.
But yes, it needs to be deeper. And because you've blown
This
up
isn't in the
planets and
game.
stuff like this, what they need to do is they also need to let us win. They need to make it like Helldivers 1. We should be able to defeat the automatons and defeat the Terminites. They should still have planets that are fightable for the people who want to keep playing against them for fun. And then we defeat the Terminites, and then they have like a couple different planets active, but they're defeated, right? Their war's over. They're not going to get to play anymore. They need to attack. And then they defeat the Illuminate, and the war's over, right? And then the war should reset, like it does in the original. Because again, making this large story where the war lasts years isn't like this is going to happen once and then it's never going to happen again. That's why this is stupid. This is dumb. This day 819, like day 819, and then like the game's dead. Okay. The end. Is Helldivers 3 going to exist? No, it isn't. Why isn't it? Because Arrowhead's not going to make another Helldivers game, from
Now
what
they're
we know.
done with it. They don't want to touch this IP anymore because they don't want to work with Sony anymore.
I don't blame them for that. But the reality is that they're working on this game now, and until Sony pushes them off for somebody else to work on this game for them, it is their responsibility to make sure this is as good as it can be. And that's what matters. You know what I mean? That's what matters the most. Like, you need to make this game in a state in which it's pretty good so that the guys coming and taking over for you will do a better job or be able to have a good foundation to work off of. And it's actually entirely why they need to do stuff like that. Let's see. But yeah. If Super Earth wins the game, the company can't keep grifting war bonds with players. Well, yeah. I mean, well, no. The thing about war bonds is that they could make war bonds regardless. It has nothing to do with it. War bonds don't mean shit, dude. But you could win the war and it wouldn't affect shit. I guarantee you. But because they just make them anyways. Bond is in 33 member, or no, has been a member for 33 months. My eyeballs don't work. He says, I don't think I will ever play HD2 again. Too many war bonds, too little time, and the lack of player interaction with the story. Hashtag Conan Exiles, hashtag Stavian, hashtag Cooking with Kips.
So
I think that is a decision that everyone's going to have to make on their own. I don't think I'm going to be done playing Helldivers 2 because, to be frank, name a game that's like this game that's better. Oh, wait. You won't be able to name one.
Helldivers 1.
It isn't better. It's actually worse. Like that's the
The
reality.
sand screen is cancer.
Yeah, no, it's not better. It's there's nothing. Halo, no. Like Call it no. Like nothing. There is actually nothing you can name. And that's okay. That's just the reality. There's nothing better than this. And there never will be.
So, Ponderzan, you read that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Thank you for the long-term support.
You are $10 away then from getting a pocket fish on Conan.
I'm getting pretty close. But yeah, believe you me though, Chad, I would very much love there to be a competitor to Halo. Or fuck, I'm so stupid. A competitor to Helldivers 2. Because yeah, there should be competition. And maybe that's the issue here. Maybe the issue is that Arrowhead has no competition. Maybe that is why we are in the state we're in.
Dune Awakening, says Moogie. Entirely different game, unfortunately. Ponderzan donates 225 Donkey Kongs. Conan Exiles, House Davian, Cooking with Gibbs.
Thank you for your generous donation.
All right,
Very
well,
much appreciate
you
it.
blew past the pocket fish tier, and now you have a bucket.
Yeah, very, very generous. But yeah, and I think all of your grievances, Bucky's, like Pondo's, even Cassie. Cassie, I know you're super burnt out and you don't even play the game anymore, and I don't even blame you. Because Cassific, for example, can't even fucking launch the game. I like Helldivers 2 a lot. I would like to play this game with him, but I can't. We've tried, haven't we? We've tried to play with you. And it's frustrating because I genuinely like this game a lot. But the issue is that they're making mistakes here, and all of the mistakes they're making are fixable. They can fix everything. Everything we just mentioned, like the issue with people not being able to boot up the game, fixable. The issue with the balance, fixable. The issue with our contribution not being like able to matter, it should be like, okay, then each war zone should have its own thing, right? So the amount of players participating in the automatons only affects the automatons. Terminated front is based on the terminated players. There are solutions. It's not perfect, but like genuinely, the galactic modifier should instead be based on the total population in each theater. So if there are people fighting against the Illuminate, then they're fighting against the Illuminate theater, and that is what is contributed. So it should be broken down from a galactic modifier to a theater modifier. Automaton theater, Terminated theater, and Illuminate theater. That's way better than what it is now, where it's the whole thing is one. But there's still going to be an issue of people not being on the same planet, but it's going to be a lot less noticeable. It's going to be on a more manageable state. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think that's like a really good solution, but then again, that's probably because I can't think of a better way to break that down other than to go by planet basis. But I feel like that would be super scuffed. I feel like that would be. I think theater would be how you'd handle that. It can be fixed, but that assumes they care to fix it. I think they do actually care to fix things. I just think their priorities are fucked because of other people making bad decisions in leadership positions. I think they really need a wake up call for the leadership. Go ahead.
As I say, that is also fair, Polly.
I've
Says I have
got
frustrated with them.
Oh, go ahead. Read. Go ahead.
So you also got frustrated with them shitting on the players and constantly calling Helldivers the villains.
Yeah, that's frustrating. I'm frustrated with
Like
that
they're
too.
completely disconnected from their own community,
Yeah, like they're
despite having a massive Discord and like doing AMAs, giving outreach. They just somehow are disconnected from the player base.
yeah, Super Earth is fascist. Well, firstly, that would imply that you understand what fascism actually means. Because
Which they don't.
whenever we look at what is actually fascism, well, fascism is a leftist ideology, right? It's an extreme ideology that is basically it's the twin brother of communism. It's another form of extremism that blames different groups adverse to other groups. For example, fascist state might blame something more racial, right? There are different types of them too, like the Italian fascist state versus the socialist state of Nazi Germany. They're different, like they are
I
drastically different.
believe Mussolini put it best for fascism.
You gonna say it, or are you just gonna sit there and silently like a little retard?
Everything within the state, nothing outside of the state.
Yep, the state is
For
worshipped as
civilians.
God, but that's the same
Yes,
as
the state
communism.
is literally the secular entity, and everything is the will of the state.
Yes, because
And
technically,
communism is everything is the will of the people.
yeah. Well, the reality is that so when it comes to ideology and understanding it, so when we call somebody fascist, we have to understand what that means, right? How many different flavors of fascism exist, right? Stone Age, you don't know what it is, so don't even bother. Like the reality is that there is Italian fascism, there is National Socialism, then there is I forget what that thing is called in Spain, which is its own fucking variant. And then for whatever reason, Japan gets often conflated, but Japan is actually not fascist; they're an autocratic state, so
They
it's like
had an
weird.
emperor
Yeah,
who
it
was
was
like a living deity.
granted their military basically seized control of the government, but yeah, it was during a coup. But regardless, right? These ideologies were never finished being developed, and they died within the century they were introduced. They were pretty bad ideologies, and why did they exist? They were basically the counter offer to, because you got to remember that Central Europe was like, okay, are we going to become? We don't want democracy. We want some form of authoritarianism. We don't like our emperor because he failed us. So we don't want a monarchy anymore. We want a new king, somebody else. And so that's where the idea of like fascism came from, right? Because they didn't want to switch over to communism because they didn't like that. They wanted a different flavor of authoritarianism, right? And so why does that matter? Because understanding what that ideology means we can now better understand what we're trying to parody. So if we're trying to parody a fascist state, then we actually need to write a fascist nation. You know what I mean? Like we're going to need to make Super Earth actually fascist. So they're going to have to become like completely disconnected with their reality. They're going to have to lose the managed democracy thing entirely because that like having the idea of individuality or votes or democratic like thing like no, not in a million years. Not in a million years. Like you can't have those things because the ideology doesn't allow for that. There can be no votes. There can be no opinions. So these ideologies must have certain things. But yeah. And so if we're going to parody these things, we have to parody them. But what is Super Earth? What is Super Earth in actuality? What is this
A
world?
parody of the EU.
Yeah, it's a parody of the EU, is what it actually is. It's we've looked at it and we've analyzed it, and Super Earth is actually just the European Union if they got total control of the world. Still a hellhole in my opinion. But it's actually a parody of the EU. It's what if the EU took over the world? And so when they're doing these things like, it just feels so out of touch with reality, right? Like, okay, you're gonna make propaganda in the universe, then you got to make propaganda that's believable, not comedical, right? Or comical. For example, the Warbond that had the new trailer for the new stuff, right? When it came to like showing off the mechs and new toys to play with, they just showed us blowing up super soldiers all the time and like killing friendlies all the time. And you know what that actually is? That's a sign, chat. That's a sign of hatred. That's a sign of dislike. That isn't like a conspiracy. That's a message to you. It's like, yeah, you're killing your own dudes, you're just killing people. You don't care, you're not special, you're not a special forces, you're just some schmuck murdering people. It's like, okay. Shouldn't this propaganda be more believable? Look at any propaganda from any fucking state media, even like propaganda from like United States government and like the Iraq War, for example. Do they portray the U.S. soldiers in like army videos of like, look at this soldier, he's hosing down like a family. It's like he smiles at the camera like, yeah. It's like no, they don't do that. That's not how that works. Nobody would want to enlist in an army like that. Well, actually, no, people might, but the people you'll be getting as enlistees will be psychopaths. You're going to be getting a very different type of people that are enlisting. And so what you get for your advertisements, what you're getting for these like commercials or whatever, should be based on actual things. Like if it's propaganda, then make it good propaganda. Make it fucking believable, right? The opening trailer is actually kind of believable. I know it's meant to be comical, but it is kind of, right? Because it's like you could be next. Like this could be your family. This could be your town. This could be your neighbor. That could be your wife. That could be your son. That's believable. That reaches down to earth because they were just living their ordinary daily lives and they were attacked and killed. It's a simple, basic bitch message. Basic bitch propaganda. 101. Bear dummies first propaganda. And they did it all right. They did a good job with it. You know, meet new people, meet interesting places. Like, basic bitch. Good
So it
job.
was very tongue-in-cheek, and it was very well done.
You did the bare minimum. You did basic bitch. I'm proud of you. But the question is that, okay, now all the other advertisements should be basic bitch at least, right? It should be propaganda that portrays Super Earth as good. Because if you're going to do propaganda, then you need to make it good propaganda. When you release a video and it shows Super Earth guys getting blown up by players, that's just lazy. Like, you're not even trying anymore. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, this is disrespectful to me. Like, what the hell? Like, come on, man. Like, at least make it believable. Like, if it's gonna be propaganda, then you gotta actually propagandize it. No fucking goddamn government on this earth is gonna be like showing like, look at this. This is our guys shooting each other in the back, and then lots of clappy noises in the crowd.
Kids, they have to hammer home that you're the bad guy.
You're the bad guy. You, the player, are a fucking Nazi. It's like, yeah.
The bugs are just misunderstood. The Illuminated just want to be left in peace, and the cyborgs have been genocided.
It's like that's not even the story in the game. Like it's like I swear to God, they don't even know the story of their own setting, right?
That's like vaguely like the story for the first game, where it's like, okay, yeah, there was probably false flagging against the Illuminate, but it's also turned out no. In this game, clearly they did have
The
weapons.
false flag is proven because of what happened to Angel's Venture.
The bugs are quite literally just they consume everything. They're not a sentient entity. They are just a swarm of flesh that consumes everything. And the automatons are probably the only ones that had any real grievance against them that didn't really turn out true. I mean, they're completely evil now, for sure.
Yeah, the grinding people
But
up and
also,
turning
even
them
in
into
the
fuel.
first game, they're shown to basically just use thralls as meat shields. Like, just slam cybernetics in people and throw them on the front line.
Yep, they don't care about their people.
Where they had commissars and stuff to guide them onto the front. It's like, yeah, they weren't the good guys either.
Yeah, so the issue is that, okay, if we're going to make Super Earth be the bad guys, then we need to make the antagonists, kind of like reasonable in some way. But the issue is all your antagonists are fucking genocidal monsters. So
like the automatons literally turn people into soup. The bugs literally consume everything. They cover entire worlds in spore clouds. Yeah, have a good one, Cassie. And the Lumens have literally destroyed entire planets,
devouring all life on like they don't Terminids don't exist with like the ecosphere either, by the way. They consume all the life forms on the planet and devour everything, turning it into these like hellish planets, basically.
Now, you can make the argument the Terminids are the way they are because of Super Earth, because Super Earth literally genetically engineered them to produce more of the, the special fuel.
Well, they modified them after the first Galactic War, if I remember right.
Yeah. Like, that you can make an argument for, but still, it's like, okay, so they did a bad there, sure, whatever. They're still an existential threat.
Yeah, why the hell do they... Yeah, so, like, this is the part where the story kind of makes no sense. It's like, okay, you have a spacefaring civilization, and we have the ability right now to grow things in vats. Why the hell would we allow the species of the Terminids? We just study what they were, break it down, and then grow it in a vat, and then bada bing, bada bam, fuel.
Yes, that's okay. Well, the reason why they didn't let us plot, but basically, what the Super Art did is they had them on farms, they engineered them to reproduce faster, and then they broke containment. It's the Resident Evil thing all over again, basically.
Yeah, it's like a Resident Evil plot, basically. How
We
is the
designed
premier
the Super
president
Killbot. Hopefully it's
managing
paper
our
mache.
planetary commune from Brussels? What? No, the capital of Super Earth isn't Brussels. It's Stockholm. Remember the joke is, the developers from Sweden, so of course the capital of Super Earth is on Sweden.
Also, Sniper, that wasn't quite on topic what you said earlier, but it was an interesting mask off moment.
Wait, which thing? What? Read.
When we were talking about the EU, he mentioned how the European mind can't comprehend spending hundreds of millions of dollars to save 2 pilots, which was a mask off moment from the EU.
Oh, that's fucked up. What the hell?
When the US spent all that money and material to rescue pilots.
You never leave your people behind, because again,
Yes,
your
and
people will fight
everyone in the
harder for
EU
you if
was
they know you're going to come
laughing
for
at
them.
America for spending all the money on just 2 soldiers. Like
It's
they don't care about the lives of their
so
soldiers.
we referenced this movie the other day, but there's a movie that the Japanese made, I believe, about like the Yamato or whatever, and there's a scene where there's like these gunners on the deck shooting down planes. They shoot down this American plane that was going to dive bomb them, or I can't remember if it was a dive bomber or a torpedo bomber. Either way, they shoot it down. The pilot lands in the water. The gunnery crew cheers, and then the gunnery crew sees a PBY Catalina land in the water, pick up the pilot, then take off from the water and fly away. And the crew goes from cheering about shooting down the pilot to being in kind of shock about what they had witnessed. They couldn't believe how honorable and how noble the Americans were, because they would go and they would fight and they would even bring their people back. They wouldn't leave their people out to drown in the ocean. And the Japanese would. They wouldn't rescue their own. They often didn't care about their own. The Japanese Empire threw away their lives. It's why the Americans fought so hard. I mean, the great example of this, the ice cream ships, right? We had entire ships dedicated to serving ice cream to our troops in the Pacific Theater.
I'll also just point out it's also just smart to make every effort to save your own troops because A, you're saving personnel that have lots of combat experience usually.
Gets
also,
better, yeah.
It is great for morale of your troops are going to fight hard because they know they will be saved if they are in danger.
Yeah, they'll fight hard because you know what? Yeah, we've been surrounded. Like, have you ever heard the story about the Lost Battalion from World War One?
I believe so.
Yeah, the Lost Battalion
You can
advanced.
tell it for chat.
Advanced down the line, right? And the French were supposed to advance next to them, but they didn't. So the Americans advanced by themselves. The Americans pushed into a wooded area, then had realized they were surrounded by the Germans because the other allies didn't advance. The Americans did not surrender. They remained and held their position despite being bombarded by our own artillery, despite being attacked and assaulted by, stormtroopers and fucking goddamn flame troopers as well. And they held their position because they knew that help would come because they were trying to get them out. But yeah, the Lost Battalion is really cool. Like, it's a real story.
That forest is actually named after them now.
I believe so, yes.
The Marine company that held that. Also, Chat Mig is bringing up. What was it? My was like, if we were in all that war, they would have an ice cream ship. Yeah, where's the ice cream super destroyer? Come on, Super Earth.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Like,
give us ice cream stratagems. Drop a hell pod down, and it just pops up with a bucket of ice cream.
A bucket of ice cream? Yeah, that'd be pretty good. Ice cream ships. But yeah, that like, Zegama Paradise. I just noticed that. That's a nice reference. But so like,
no, there's all kinds of references. Like, the most painful thing with Helldivers 2 for me is clearly, like, it's not the original people working on it anymore. That's blatantly obvious.
Well, no, a great deal of them aren't they?
Well, no, but it's a skeleton crew.
Well, yeah, the only fraction of the people are still there. Yeah.
I'm saying, like, the original people who designed this map and designed the core systems had a lot of passion, and it seems like they lost it all.
I don't think that they necessarily lost their passion. I think that they've lost direction, if that makes sense. Because when I look at what Arrowhead's doing, when I look at their actions, and I look at what they're saying, and I look at what they're working on, every time I don't believe it's like a case of like Bungie. Like they don't give a shit about you at Bungie. And the Halo Studios don't give a shit about you. I think the issue is that Arrowhead has locked themselves into a bubble. And they've locked themselves into the forums that they read are the only ones they go to, are the ones that are curated, or the only places they listen to are the heavily curated and heavily censored
Like the Reddit.
Discord server and stuff like that. And that's why when Johann Pilestad went to a Reddit where people were being vocally negative towards the game and actually asked people like, "Hey, like what are your issues with the game? Like what's wrong? What are the big things that we're doing that are like upsetting you guys?" And then he took that and he listened to what people said, and it was painful to listen to because if you read it, like some people were pretty harsh, but they were hard pills to swallow. But it's like the reality is that they kind of don't understand what people want. And Johan himself doesn't quite understand where the player base is at either, because you can actually see that there. He thinks that the majority of the players are in the early to middle section of the game. This is false. The majority of the player base was proven by various content creators and other people that over 45% of the player base is actually at the late game stage, meaning they've already pushed past the early game. The majority of the player base is waiting for new content to deepen and add to more systems. The painful thing was that in that interview, he was honest, and he was honest, and that's why I do appreciate him being straightforward about it, like saying like we're not really intending to work on any more like systems for like the late game. We're mostly focused on these things and these things, and it's good that he was honest. That should be commendable because we need to have an open dialogue. People need to be talking. It's okay to say like, yeah, we're working on this, and it's like, yeah, well, people don't really want that. And now that you've said that, now let's have a conversation. Let's discuss what we should do constructively to improve the situation. Because there are people that do appear to care in that studio. That's why I haven't given up on Helldivers 2. If I genuinely believe that they all like fucking hated our guts, I probably would stop playing. Actually, I wouldn't stop. I'd probably already uninstalled it, and I wouldn't even do this fucking stream. But I do think that there are people that do care, and it is evident that people do care. But I think the issue is that it's going to sound terrible, but or maybe not terrible or mean, but you need to force your team to go to places where they're going to see nasty comments and they're going to hear mean things. Like I say mean stuff too. Like it's true because we care about the game, but we don't say those things because we hate you. We don't say those things because we want bad things to happen, because we're frustrated. You guys are frustrated. We care. And that's the most important part. They'll hate their customer base and players. I don't believe every game studio hates their customer base and players. I don't believe that for a second. I love you guys. You guys, like a lot of you play our game, the tabletop game. You guys are awesome. Yeah, there's some things we got to work on and improve, but that's part of having an open dialogue. That's why these conversations must happen. Don't talk to YouTubers. Don't talk to just, game journos. Don't, like, the issue with content creators and game journos, in my eyes, is they're kind of the one and the same. Two sides of the same fucking shitty coin. What the developers need to do is they need to open discourse with the general population of the game. Not the shitty yubnubbers, not the shitty journos. Those people don't matter. They're one person. And if you combine them all, they're collectively like 12 people. 12 people is not enough to get a basis for anything, right? You need to open discourse with everything. You need to be like, all right, make a post. I'm like, all right, look, here's a post from Arrowhead, and we want to talk about what are some things that you guys would that we're doing that you guys don't like that we're doing. Say a post like that. That's going to be painful to hear, but it has to be done. Well, we don't really like that you're constantly nerfing our stuff or you're buffing the enemies all the time. Like, please just instead of doing that, maybe just give us other weapons or maybe touch up guns that aren't fun or even playable anymore. Oh, yeah, you're right. Those games, we should do that. Pie's sake, if I was on copium and hopium, you know what I'd be doing? You're fucking retarded. You know what I'd be doing? I'd be glazing. Be like, oh, yes, they've not done anything wrong. Oh, it's perfectly good. God damn it. Meanwhile, Kibbs, in reality, please, let's have a discussion about how to improve things. Let's point out all the flaws. Meanwhile, Pisig, are we on copium? Let's say, oh, God. No, we're on acceptance. We're on the acceptance of things are bad, and we're going to have to, either live with the fact that they're bad or move on. That's where we're at now, boys. Hopium and copium has sailed. That was like a decade ago. It's like a decade. God fucking damn it, Chatfish. Sometimes you guys have such thick little fish heads. Ugh. Most of them do who are not indie, and even half of those do. I mean, a great deal of indies do care. But there are people that don't. It's a case by case basis. Sherman says we are not at Star Wars levels. This can be fixed. Yeah, absolutely. People are kind of overreacting too, and this is another painful pill to swallow. People are kind of freaking out a little too much. Are we at the stage where we're at Star Wars? No. No. Not yet. But we might be if nothing is done about this. And the only way to know if something is going to be done about this is if something is said, right? Now, Johan doing that post and making that post is good. Saying that he's going to do stuff is good. However, that's nice. But it has no bite to it, does it? Actions speak louder than words ever could. And so only time will truly reveal what that, Reddit post really did. Did it do anything? And let's check records. Why? So Johan Pilestad went away to do a sabbatical, right? Or whatever. He fucked off, which was a disaster when he did, by the way, because the people in charge of balancing and releasing stuff basically made the game fucking unfun to play, right? Then Johan comes back. What does he do? He looks into the community, puts a finger on the pulse, sees what people like, sees what people don't, and makes changes accordingly, and then brings the game back. What's the issue here? The issue is that whoever you're leaving in charge of things is incompetent. This might be painful to say, but you need to have a hard conversation with that person, he or she. Be like, dude, you're dropping the fucking ball here. Not just a little bit, like fucking massively. You need to get your shit in gear, or you need to pack your fucking bags and go. Two options. Now, I'm at the point now where it's probably pack your bags and go, because this is 2 strikes, you're out kind of situation. First strike, it was when he did the sabbatical first time. Accident happened, maybe misaligned things. Mistakes happen. People make mistakes. But this is the second time we've done this. We're at part 2 of the same story arc, repeating the same thing that happened a couple years ago. We kind of have to ask ourselves, all right, perhaps whoever this is needs to go. It's clear that they didn't learn the last time, and that we're repeating the exact same mistakes we made previously. Things have to change. And if they're not willing to change to make those changes work, they've got to go. That's just the reality. They've got to go, they've got to be demoted, they've got to go do something else. Somebody else has to be taking over this balance thing. Because it's very clear that the current person is A, doesn't have his head in the game, B, isn't doing the research, C, does not have his finger on the pulse of the community. Realistically, I think Johan Pilestad should be demoted. That might sound incredibly mean, but you should be demoted, and he should be demoted and put in charge of just balance. Because it's clear that he understands balance better, because he's actually and he's not even doing anything crazy. You know what he's doing? He's just doing what people basically are like more or less saying. Because it's been that way every single time, hasn't it? It's been like, okay, the game is back, things fun, we're in the we're so back mode. How do we reach the we're so back mode? Well, it turns out they just listened to what the developers, what the players were asking for. Now, the issue is you can't just listen to every player and do whatever they say, right? You have to have a certain filter and a vision. And this is the issue I have a worry. I don't even know if they have a vision for the game anymore. It sounded like they did, because helmets were supposed to have cool features, like different optics and stuff. There were supposed to be like clan stations. Where are those things? And then I find out that those things are scrapped, basically, in that Reddit post. It was like my hope and optimism for the future of this game is now diminished into, well, it's fun for what it is, but it's not going to be much more than that. And that's fine. It's fine just being what it is, and this is as good as it's going to get. And then you're just going to wrap up and move on to your next game. But the issue is you're not doing that. You're promising things. You're basically promising the world about more stuff coming. And you've made these promises, and you've fallen into what I would call the Peter Molyneux trap. You promised a lot of things, and we haven't seen any of those things. No helmet features, no new fucking whatever the fuck it's called, like mechanics for the planets or whatever. Like no new weapon customization, no new paint customization options. You promised a lot, and you haven't really delivered a whole lot. It's a concern. Welcome, stream meme. Thank you for the long-term support as a bubble cultist. We appreciate it. But yeah, it's one of those
Bubble.
cases that they really got to get going on that stuff. They really got to get that figured out, because we need a roadmap. How do they even
Yes,
have a
we
roadmap?
definitely do.
Like, it's
No, we
genuinely, you know what's amazing, by the way? Dune Awakening has a roadmap.
Dune Awakening has also just announced or revealed their polar ice cap thing coming.
Yeah, the update on the polar ice cap. It looks pretty fucking cool, actually. We'll take a look at this in a bit here, because this is a
New
fireside chat.
resources, entirely new biome.
So,
Yeah.
here's why I want to bring up Funcom. Funcom, they're another. Aren't they also Swedish?
I'll look it up. They might be.
I think all the studios for like the games that are good right now are Swedish game studios. Dude, for the Swedish games, like what do you call it? Industry is actually pretty robust. So it's not surprising that a bunch of powerhouses. They're Norwegian? Okay. The Norwegian studio of Funcom
Norwegian.
has done a pretty good job of pulling back Dune Awakening by listening to by Owned by China. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That is actually unfortunate.
That's a more recent acquisition.
They haven't
Like,
meddled in them,
they weren't
yet.
always owned by. I think it's Tencent, of course.
That's where the money came from for them to make this game, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like the big thing here is that when it comes to this game, they're pulling it back. They're really kind of recovering this game. They're listening to what people want. They're putting things in. They're realizing that the player base is PvE mostly, and they're redirectioning the game, and they're changing their roadmap to reflect that. And then they're being honest and telling us up front, like, hey, we fucked up. We're looking at how to fix this, and here's what we're going to do to make it better. We're going to do this. We're going to focus on PvE stuff. We've heard you loud and clear. And here's the roadmap. Here's the game plan. And we're going to start pushing up patches, and we're going to start pushing towards that direction for you. We're going to give you private servers. We're going to give you not only private servers, we're going to give you like the ability to like do have more customization options for opening that servers of your own. We're going to be pushing out more PvE focused content. We're going to be changing the deep desert to be more PvE focused, so there's more PvE aspects to the game. And we're going to be giving you everything you more or less want in that direction. And we're going to be focusing our vision of the game in the view of that. But we have a vision. And that's what sets these guys apart. Vision. This game has a vision. Yeah, their vision was wrong initially, but they corrected it, they changed it, and now they're going down a better path. The reality is that they made mistakes, they fucked up, but they're now switching and doing the right thing, right? Now, again, this is still is a journey. They're not there yet, right? Don't get on the copium and hopium train. They have to earn it, but I'm willing to give these guys the benefit of the doubt. I'm willing to be patient and play their game again. I'm willing to give it another shot. Because, hey, if you're willing to try, I'm going to try too. That would apply to you too, Arrowhead. But you actually need to pull your head out of your ass. Because whereas Funcom fucked up once and is now going back on the right track, you fucked up twice. And it looks like you're going back on the right track again. But the issue is that this has happened multiple times now. Right? We've been down this road again. Now I have to ask myself, are we going to be here a third time? Is that going to happen? And like, this is why I don't stream Helldivers 2 all the time, chat. I like Helldivers 2. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy playing with you guys. But there's some things that are really annoying that piss me off. The Warbond thing, I'm just sick of it. The fact that some of my chatfishes can't play with me kind of annoys me. I would like to play with you guys, but like they don't let me because, you know, they're not fixing the game. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, like I don't even care that much about the metagame, right? Like it's not a deal breaker if the metagame sucks. Like I just have fun playing it with you guys. But the issue is the deal breaker parts are starting to, they're reaching that threshold, you know, where it's like, okay, there's a lot of people who can't play the game. This stupid fucking no cheat software they have in Helldivers 2 is just kind of cancer. Like you need to get your shit together, because there are people that are just done. And I've said this again and again, right? Like some people are just done. For example, Bucky is done. Cassie's probably done. And they may come back. They may come back when things change. It's possible. people will say things in haste. They often do, but it's a maybe. It's no longer like, yeah, we're gonna come back. It's now a maybe. It's more an uncertainty, and as time goes on, that uncertainty becomes more certain. People who say that will actually mean that, and they will not come back, and they will not give you another chance because you blew your fucking opportunity, and now you lost them forever, no matter what. And that's just gonna happen, right? That would be the same for me. If I blew your guys' trust again and again and again, eventually you're just not gonna come by here anymore, are you? And it's not your fault. It'd be my fault because I betrayed your trust. And if that happens, then you won't come by here anymore and you won't be here anymore. And then I'll have lost you. And there's nothing I can do to get you back if that happens. Nothing. Nothing I can do about it. Well, I'm fucked because I fucked up. That's how that would work for me. And that's how that works for you too, Arrowhead. That's how that works. It's why it's incredibly important to be honest and respectful. It's why my audience is slowly growing. And it's one of those things where your audience could grow for your game too. And it should be. You have well, you don't have every right. You have no excuse not to. You should be trying to build something great. Jeff's memeing on generals now. Okay, I will work.
But yeah, the big thing is they just need to actually listen to the community and, much like Funcom, ultimately accept that
Your vision may
what
not
their
be what
vision
you
of
thought
the
it
game
was.
is not. Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that we can't have something great here, right? Like, I am going to change my review the minute this happens. Just like in the same vein that I'm going to change my review of Helldivers 2 once I no longer think the game is fun. I still do recommend Helldivers 2. But I'm going to be honest with you as to why. Helldivers 2 for $40 for what is in the game right now, assuming you can play it, assuming you can play it and you can play it with your buddies, is actually a lot of fun. You'll get probably a good couple hundred hours of fun out of it. If you haven't played it, you'll still get fun out of it. It's still a fun game. But for me, Kib, who's in the late game, who is at the 944-hour mark, that fun is starting to be diminished by the fact that the late game has problems. So for those who enter at the early game, yeah, there's plenty of stuff for you. But bear in mind, once you get to where I am, you're going to realize that there's a wall there. In the same vein that Dune Awakening had the same thing, right? Dune Awakening got 244 hours. I loved most of that. There was a couple of things that annoyed me, but I loved this game, and I do love this game a lot. But once you hit the late game in Dune Awakening, it was like hitting a wall. It was like, there's nothing else here. And that's very unsatisfying, right? It's okay for the game to have an ending, a beating, like I beat the game, right? I don't mind that. That's actually what I want to see in the game, an ending. Let me beat it so that I can be like, yep, I beat it. It takes like 20 hours to beat, 4 hours to beat, 100 hours to beat, 200 hours to beat, whatever, right? It's got an ending. But make it feel like the journey in Dune Awakening is good. It just has nothing at the end. You're going, you're having a great time, and then it just stops. Just stop. It's like, well, what am I going to do? Well, you have to wait for the next expansion to come out. Okay. Well, what else is there to do while waiting for the next expansion? Well, you can go in the deep desert. All right, well, let's go to the deep desert. Let's see what we can do. You do PvP. Okay, I mean, that was kind of fun. I had a little bit of fun there. I actually didn't mind it. But over time, after a bit, that's going to get a little boring. It's going to get I'm going to want something else to do. And Dune Awakening is getting better. They are building it better. So I'll be patient with them. But Arrowhead really needs to get their fucking shit together. Hell, Dune Awakening is doing so much better that Funcom re-released Conan Exiles, and I'm giving Conan Exiles a second chance. That was a game I dismissed, mostly because somebody fucking trolled me in that game. But still. Oh, I built a massive temple and it got destroyed by the Purge. Oh, it was very painful. It was very painful. They spent so many hours building that stupid building. Prime McPepe says, this is my issue with games like this. Either it's a forever game or it's just meh. Like how everyone stopped playing after playing for a couple of days. We're talking about forever game. What game are you referencing? Are you talking about Helldivers 2? I don't think it's necessarily a forever game. At least I don't view it that way. Nor do I view Dune Awakening. Dune Awakening has very clear progression. You know what I mean? Like there's peaks and valleys to like how you progress. But the issue is that once you get to the end of it, it sort of stops when it feels like it should be introducing something epic. It's like, oh, cool! I've learned how to fly. I've got a helicopter thingy now. I'm gonna be learning how to harvest spice from worms, and I'm gonna have these huge like air battles. Now what? And it's like nothing. I said, oh, okay. You didn't finish the rest of it. MMO games in general. Uh, have you ever played? What MMOs have you played? Because you have a very interesting view set. Because MMOs always have an end game, and there's always an end game actually. From the MMOs I played, but that might be a Japanese game thing. Because usually in World of Warcraft, you beat World of Warcraft by getting to the end and doing the final dungeons and raids, and then you were done. And then you could keep playing or make a new character if you wanted, but you'd basically beaten the game. You'd gotten the best gear, the best items. You could do other stuff if you wanted, but you beat the game. You could beat World of Warcraft Classic. You could beat World of Warcraft Vanilla. You could also beat World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King. There's a lot of stuff to do, but you could beat these games. Realistically, you had to set what goals. Do you mean like completing every goal, like getting every achievement? Because that might be stressful. That might be stressful as hell. But yeah, because like when I think of forever games, I'm thinking of like mobile games where there is no end game, or just like loops like Clash of Clans. But WoW always releases expansions. Well, yeah, it does, but you can still beat the game that's out. Then you can stop playing. That's what I did. I beat World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King, and then I played Cataclysm but didn't beat it. Played Pandaria, and then dipped out. And I was kind of done. I came back for Battle of Azeroth, and then I beat that, and then I was kind of done. And I've never really given WoW another chance beyond that. Like I've tried them, but like never got back into it. But I guess that might make sense. But like I don't know. I view it differently. I guess might be just a personal thing, because you can beat those games. Like you can beat SWTOR. I've beaten SWTOR. It's pretty good. Well, no, the beginning was good. The first section of it's good. The expansion wasn't really worth it in my eyes, but that might be down to preference. Kib, you went back numerous times. No, I didn't. Not to those games. Oh, see, maybe this is where we're having a difference. So, World of Warcraft Classic ceased to exist when Burning Crusade came out because of how those games worked. Just like Wrath of the Lich King ceased to exist after Cataclysm came out. I couldn't go back to those games if I wanted to, unless I went to a private server. Because fundamentally, that game, because if you know anything about how MMOs work, they don't exist anymore. Wrath of the Lich King is dead. Is gone. You can't play it. Like if you go to a private server, you can, but that's it. You could say that the content's still in modern WoW, but like that's disingenuous and not true. It isn't. As somebody who's tried like to revisit it, like yeah, you can go there, you can do those quests, but the game isn't built around them anymore, so it doesn't really work anymore. So it's like that doesn't exist anymore. You can't go back to it. But yeah, I guess that's where we're having our disagreement there. Either way, moving on. I have the best era of WoW in my hoet in memory. That's it, says Benjamin. Yep, that's pretty much, I think, most former WoW players. We all miss something, but the reality is because it was a live service game, that's what I hate about live service games. I enjoy the memory, but I would love to experience that memory with you guys again. But we can't. We can't play that game anymore. It doesn't exist anymore. And that's what makes me mad. Bucky sent me stuff. We're gonna have to kill him. He's like, Bucky's a little, look at a little squirrel guy. He's just sending me stuff while I'm sitting here. Kind of crazy. The last several memories of WoW for me are just sadness. Yeah, because you probably just remember the dying stage when things were going down the gutter. But yeah, do you have any further things you'd like to add, little Chumpachu, to Held Spunkers 2?
Not really. We kind of went over anything I would have said.
The reality is that I still like this game, but the issue is I can feel the fatigue of my own building. And the reality is, unless they make some serious course corrections, and I mean permanent course corrections, it's not going to be good enough. A repeat of what they did before, where they got better and things were fun, and then going back down what happened with like Cyberstan again, is kind of going to be it. I'm gonna give them one last shot, but if it happens again, I think it's cooked. Like I'm gonna still play the game probably, but I'll be playing it casually. And you know what that means? I'm just playing it to play with buddies, and that's it. I don't give a two shits about the fate of what's happening
Yeah.
because I do enjoy the gameplay loop. But yeah, me being invested in Helldivers 2, like you have this last opportunity, and honestly, you shouldn't even have that to be honest. But we'll have to wait and see. And I'll let you guys know if any further developments come. If you guys want to tune out, I'll keep a finger on the pulse. But if the next expansion turns out to be a bit of a shit show like Cyberstan, well, you know where we're going to be standing on that. Just remember that we can still have fun playing it together, chat, but we're probably not going to be invested into this no more.
Now, I did post a reveal trailer from that Moogie found.
Hold on, we should look at the Dune Awakening thing because we were talking about transition. Oh, what? Oh, they've actually got the Water Wars on the store page now. Nice. So yeah, an update on the polar cap. So we're going to move on to the Dune Awakening topic because it's really interesting, and I am interested in Dune Awakening still. And if they fuck this up, chat, I think I will probably break down and cry, because I've been wanting to come back to this game, and I've been holding off on it properly because I'm letting them do the big expansion in the private servers, and then we're making our own private server, and we're gonna play with just the chat bros. But yeah, so let's read. We wanted to take a moment to address what's been on your minds since the update 1.4 announcement and live stream. We know many of you were expecting the new map to arrive with the Water Wars DLC in the form of the Polar Cap. That's perfectly understandable considering the original DLC description referenced the Polar Cap as a location for the Water Shippers faction. Our intention was to release the Polar Cap map as a free, update alongside the Water Wars DLC, same as Chapters 3. Saw the release of Raiders and of the Broken Land DLC, and the free update introducing new story content and endgame improvements. We firmly believe in keeping DLCs to optional cosmetic content. Good! Because you know why? They didn't initially think that. What was the expansion called? Lost Harvest.
The Dune Man. Yeah.
Lost Harvest is
I
the
still
name
want
of
them
it.
to
That's the
actually
story.
expand the Dune Man set because it's good, but it's very lacking.
Yeah, because like Lost Harvest was a story expansion, and then it got so much backlash that they'll never do it again. It's a shame that they really should just put Lost Harvest in the game. As somebody who bought it, I would actually be okay with you putting it into the base game. You know why? Because I think it's just fundamentally everybody should have it. Like you can try giving us like cosmetics or whatever to like apologize for it, but like I'll be real, I think it's better that you just give it to everybody. And then you just issue in a statement and go like, "Yeah, we're not going to do that again." And I'd be okay with it. I'd move on. I just think that story content should be for everybody. But that's just me. But you know, I'm Chad. I like stories because I'm a writer guy. All right, so let's see. We firmly believe in keeping DLCs. While new features, gameplay, locations, and story content are released for free to the benefit of all players, it's better for the game's long-term health, and we also know that's what you, the players, want based on the feedback we received after Chapter 2. Yep, they're talking about the backlash they got there. So why was the Water DLC released now, but not the Polar Cap map? During the past several months, our internal development priorities have shifted as we focused on addressing game systems and endgame feedback. Yep, so they have to redesign stuff from the sounds of it. The Polar Cap map is a huge amount of work, and we want the quality to be what you expect from us. We are still very much actively working on the new map, but this shift in priorities meant to move it further out in the release plan. We still wanted to deliver the Water Wars DLC to ensure the season pass holders got it on time. There are separate teams and professions working and professions. Oh, that's right. I wouldn't word that way, but whatever. Working on the DLCs and the new map. So rest assured, this is not a matter of prioritizing the DLC over the map. The Water Wars DLC is ready to go, and we will release it alongside the free update 1.4, which includes new content such as Wind Pass, the Old Quarry, and the new Landsrod mission system. Our goal, or missions. Sorry, I don't want to add system there. Our goal is also to release an experimental version of self-hosted servers with the update 1.4. We will be skipping on doing that, chat. We're going to be waiting for the ice cap thing, probably. Pending results from the public test realms, self-hosted servers will give you more control over your experience, not only allowing you to host your own server, but also tweak many different gameplay settings, such as harvesting rate and experience rates. As we said on Livestream 1.4, is not a chapter update. This is a smaller update we're releasing while we continue to work on the bigger things coming later. Aside from the polar cap map, we have a lot more cooking, including new features, new content, and the continuation of the main story. So what is the polar cap map? The polar cap is a sizable survival map, so sort of like Haga Basin from the sounds of it, that expands the endgame, and we are releasing it as a free update late this year. It introduces new survival mechanics, new locations, new types of resources, new loot, new stuff to craft, and a new standalone storyline. For those of you who enjoy the survival loop in Haga Basin, you'll find plenty of new exciting things to discover here. Yeah, okay, so it's going to be like Haga Basin, which is good because Haga Basin was perfect. Like that's how things should be designed going forward.
So wait, is it going to be similar size to Haga Basin?
We'll find out.
Because if so, that's insane. That's a huge amount of content.
That's like double. Well, not double because there's also the other zones, but yeah, it's still huge. You'll probably not be surprised to learn that it's cold, damn cold. This shift from having to deal with scorching heat in Haga Basin to freezing cold of the polar caps holds a lot more challenge than you might expect. So there might be different mechanics because we have to deal with cold.
That's kind of like this. Honestly, sounding like it's Dune Awakening 2.0.
Pretty much.
Like this is Iceborne DLC basically.
Damn it! It's only 25 seconds. So they're showing off some shots of the new biome. New structures. New interiors, that's nice.
That'd be the DLC probably.
A ship in the distance, floating.
But where's the ice worms?
The ice worms? I don't think the worms can go into the ice area.
No, the ice worms would not be there.
Yeah, because
but it'd be funny. Snow worms, Chatfish.
We can't wait to tell you more about the polar caps and everything else we're working on. Next week, we'll also have an update for you on server migrations. We appreciate you sticking with us and continuing with feedback. Yeah, so Funcom seems to be doing a good job of listening to feedback. Let's take a look at the upcoming Water Wars DLC. So this, if I remember right, is just a cosmetic DLC.
Yeah, it's just like the last one, the Smugglers thing.
So yeah, this is purely cosmetics. This is the new build sets that you'll be getting with the Water Wars DLC. Again, you do not need it if you do not want it. It is entirely cosmetic. These aren't different weapons that do different things. These are armors. These are just cosmetic skins for your armors. And if you know anything about Dune Awakening is entirely about drip. And yeah, I do like the sets quite a bit. I think their art team is doing a pretty good job here.
Yeah. Now the water thing looks great.
The snow worms pop out of the ground and explode. Like, boom.
Explodes into whatever the original life form is, like what happened with Leto the Second.
Pretty much. But this is looking pretty good. I also like the fact that the sets are also including not just armors and weapon sets along with the build sets, but also vehicle skins. That's nice. New Thopter skins.
Chat, how would you feel if your giant immortal worm god died because he fell into a river?
It's like,
and exploded.
Like, imagine them trying to make a movie out of that and not make it funny, you know? Little fat worm guy falls off a little chair, like,
I mean, it was horrific for him because all that was left was basically part of, like, the human upper torso that didn't transform into the worm. He was just, like, bleeding out, basically.
Yep.
Remember, Chad, that was his plan all along as well. More or less.
Mm-hmm. Someone says he doesn't really care for Doom, but he did enjoy watching the streams. To me, it's one of those games I really like to watch. Yeah, I mean, as a streamer, I can say that the viewership on Dune Awakening streams is always incredibly high retention and incredibly good. So I guess, like, I don't know. I'm super interested in Dune. So like I'm blinded
Well, you
by
and me
like
both
what that
also
is.
really like the setting, so we are very biased.
Yeah, true. I think Frank Herbert's Dune and world building is really
Mechanically,
cool.
Dune Awakening is actually a fairly good game.
Yeah, I think it's pretty solid. I think it's actually one of
Like
the
I've said
best
before,
survival crafting
most of
games in the
its
market.
main issues is them trying to do the MMO aspect of it, and that's just because then it doesn't respect your time at all.
Water Shipper has one melee variant, one ranged. Water Shipper has a scout thopter. Water Ship Watch with a color palette. No ground vehicles? What are you laughing about, Chunky?
Moogie,
What do you say?
I like to steal anything that's attached to the floor.
Yeah, I know. Plague says, I want to make my own server without people building, uglifying my world. That's true. I kind of
Mhm.
agree. That's why I want to do a private server with just my
It
community, so that
actually
we
also
build
makes
on
sense
it.
to me that there's not going to be ground themed vehicles. The airshippers and the people in the polar skies, it would be air. It would be just pretty much all air
Oh yeah, it's probably going to be mostly air based up there.
because polar ice caps, the harvesting the water there. So, and most of the vehicles would be designed around the idea of not being in the desert. So
True.
ground vehicle, they'd have to, it would be an entirely different design of ground vehicles. So
I wonder if that means that the ice cap's going to have a lot of verticality to it.
now, for all we know, they could introduce another vehicle with solar caps.
I hope they
They
do.
didn't mention new content, so there could be a snow buggy.
That would actually be cool. Oh my god, snowmobiles.
I mean, the snowmobile, I can't imagine it being much different than the bike.
It wouldn't be. I mean, because the bike kind of looks like a snowmobile.
It
It
would probably
looks
work
like
just
a.
fine on snow.
Now I'm kind of curious if this is how they're gonna do this with like the ice cap thing. So it's gonna invalidate the Haga Basin as a zone, or is it gonna be
It's
like
gonna no. I think this is a new end game zone is what I think this is, Gibbs. Because Haga Basin, once you harvest everything, it kind of is invalidated
yeah, because
by
you
Deep
move on.
Desert.
Because the whole goal of Haga Basin is slowly moving up around it, right? Because you start at the
Hmm.
bottom, you work your way up to the right, then you crawl along the right side of the map, then along the top left, then go to the bottom left to get the
So
radiation stuff.
I think Polar Collapse is gonna be similar, but it's gonna have to be structured a bit differently because you're gonna have flying right away. Where's the Miku update for Dune? Unfortunately for you, Indio, it seems like they're trying to keep it in universe pretty well.
Well, with private servers, it
Yeah,
does
that does open
open
up modding.
it does open up the room for allowing modding. Now they might not allow modding right away, but I would actually recommend that people start conversations around encouraging talks about modding to maybe spark the developers to consider it. Because for Conan Exiles, modding helps carry it, right? Dune Awakening, if it received modding, would actually probably only help it further, right?
Hmm.
Like people could mod in like custom dungeons and stuff like that, or like
Now they
custom
are kind of
things.
financially incentivized to not allow like
Not
too much modding
necessarily.
because,
So think
well,
about
if the
this.
DLC process policy is cosmetic build sets and stuff, opening that up for
Yeah, but they did it before and it's okay. And not okay. Who has the spare time to make a massive 82 billion piece set with armor, skins, and things and animations? Not everybody has
you'd be
that.
surprised. Not
Some
not not everybody, but
some
there
people
is
do,
people.
but like it's not going to be an issue in my opinion. Honestly, you shouldn't worry about that because allowing modding is only going to increase the amount of value the game's going to have.
I mean,
Not
I
to
agree with you,
mention,
Kibbs.
I know, but think about it, right? I'm pretending you're Funcom. Think about it, Funcom. Shh, Funcom. Shh. All right. Some of these modders are going to introduce new ideas, even new features, new mechanics. They might even make certain requests for certain things. And sometimes developers can see things and be like, oh, that was a really cool system. We're going to incorporate that and expand that in the actual core game. That actually happens. That happened with Project Zomboid with the weapons modder guy who died, unfortunately. Rest his little soul. They actually incorporated his mod into the base game, expanded it a bit, and they also added a building, to commemorate his contributions. But it was kind of cool of them to do that because it helped expand parts of the game with the weapon customization stuff. You know what I mean? By incorporating it into the core parts of the game. Chatfish are like thinking about it, like, oh, what does this mean for chatfishes? Well, I don't know. Why are you asking me? Like,
You see that big base in this little GIF it's playing?
Yeah.
I want you to imagine how many resources that took to build.
That took a considerable amount of time. But I know how they built it. They're in creative mode when they were doing this demo.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, they didn't fucking grind. Are you shitting me? The developers wouldn't do that.
Thankfully, Dune Awakening doesn't have Conan Exiles numbers for stuff.
What do you mean? Oh
Conan
yeah.
Exiles, the resources needed to do anything is absurd.
I have no idea, but like, so we were visiting a game called Conan Exiles, which recently got a massive update. Which actually, we're going to be doing a Conan Exiles server. There's a thumbnail to get onto it if you want. Conan Exiles
Yes.
is discounted 25% off at a reasonable $30 to buy the game if you want it. Bear in mind, it is like Dune Awakening. However, it is a little bit
Clunkier.
jankier. It's clunkier, a little jankier, but it is very much like Dune Awakening. So if you like
It's
Dune
proto
Awakening,
Dune Awakening,
yeah,
mechanically.
if you like Dune Awakening, there's a good chance you may like this game. Bear in mind that this game doesn't really have a quest system at all.
It has a journey system similar to Dune Awakening, but it's a lot more hand-holdy. Of like, you have to do this in this order, like this, and now do this, do this.
That is true. Now, what was the thing Shapish wanted to look at? Put it up in the Bickering Bunch
I did.
discussions.
I also want to make some quick announcements.
Okay.
So, to get on the Conan Exiles, that will close at the end of next week for the thumbnail. There is also the 2026, what was it? Miss Bucketfish? No, it was Miss Bucket 2026 contest that you could still enter. If you want to enter it, it has to be a chatfish that was made this year. Now, there's still plenty of time to enter that, but just want to remind people that's a thing. That'll probably close, I don't know, June.
Also, we have a lot of fan art from Show. We'll review it real quickly. So, Show has been in the Discord server drawing dumb things. And she's been drawing little sketches of people. She made Baffios, Beano, Chair,
Metallic Chair,
Hands. And she's been Rapier,
Jano.
Lycan. Oh my god. They're so dumb looking. Pondo, I never draw him! Exclamation point. Robert, Robin, Semper Tantrum, Show I Forgot, Spider Pig. And then she did some more. God damn, she did a lot of these little doodles. What the hell? Alu, Sala. Oh, my back. Pulpus, He'll Kill Me. Bon, Carlos, and then Echo. That's right.
Now keep in mind, for the Miss Bucket 2026, it can be a fancy fish.
Moogie, Harlot, Depresso, and who can forget Grunchabuncha, former Ghost, Lil Doge, and fucking Yinglet. Oh my god. Yinglet, short. Penguin, I forgot. Why did she keep saying?
He's also responding to people in VC.
Oh, she just added one now. Okay. And then she did one for Kib as well, was Aerith. I think we should dock Show's pay.
Beautiful. Now, Chatfish, if you see one of these, and you want to get it as an actual Chatfish, just fully drawn up, you can. Just send it to Bino or Alan, like, draw this as Chatfish, and they just go, what?
That would be funny. So yeah, that was funny. We should dock her pay though. On a serious note. Okay.
Yeah.
We should dock her pay on a serious note. Aliens Fireteam Elite 2? Okay, that's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, chat. All right, now we're cooking with gas. I'm actually excited. The first Fireteam Elite game was actually pretty fun. It was a bit on the janky side.
Didn't
but
have any replayability, unfortunately.
Yeah, you beat it once and then it's kind of over.
Which meant like you couldn't really level up classes.
All right, let's check this.
If anyone is listening, this is Dr. Lily Pierce on planet LV-558 in Storespoon. Xenomorphs have overrun the colony. I repeat, overrun the colony. We're running out of air and people are dying. Send the Marines. Send anyone.
My god, a game that treats the Marines like heroes? Oh, curious. Arrowhead, take notes. Unironically, this is better than Aliens Colonial Marines.
So was the first one.
Yeah, true. But, like, this is actually gonna probably be fucking... not a fucking dumpster fire.
I mean, if it's... I mean, the first game, it just... Don't play it on higher difficulties, it's pain.
It's a smart gun!
Smart gun is cute.
Sorry I'm late.
Ah, it's 4 players
Oh, it's 4
now.
players. Nice. That's why they did that introduction.
Look at that. He's living his best life.
So, if you didn't know this, Fireteam Elite was only 3 players, and it was kind of annoying that it was 3 players. Because it just felt kind of arbitrary. They're actually increasing the player count based on this trailer. With that, that is definitely.
That's a great way to introduce that. That's a change, by the way.
Sorry I'm late.
That's actually in-game footage, it looks like. It
Yes.
looks a lot tighter.
It does. Oh, bullshit. They're playing on low difficulty. Flamethrower did not just pop people like that. It just headbutted him. Ooh, big boots.
Has it got
I mean,
a
I'm
Steam page
interested.
yet? Yeah, I'm interested too.
I'll check it.
Coming summer of 2026. All right. It is available for wish listing. That's good. All right, we've got something to look forward to. I'm actually pretty stoked. The last Fireteam Elite, it was a bit of a AA title, you know, not like super high quality, but it was fun. It was way more fun than Colonial Marines
Oh,
was.
is it a new studio?
New studio picked it up? Cold Iron, 20th Century Games, Daybreak Game Company. I don't remember who the developers were for the first one.
Let me look it up. Cold Iron Studios, and they self-published it along with Focus and Home Entertainment. So it is the same studio, but they might have had a bit of a restructuring because now they're an LLC. And Daybreak is new though. Who's Daybreak?
They sound familiar. Was there a game called Daybreak or something?
They should. They're PlanetSide 2.
What?
PlanetSide 2, PlanetSide 2 Test, Z1 Battle Royale, EverQuest,
Oh no, I remember
Lord
that.
of the Rings Online.
Oh, they're sort of all over the place. I didn't know they did Lord of the Rings Online.
I'm assuming they published it. Let me check.
Used to be Sony Online Entertainment. Oh, so SOE lost this or whatever? Stone Age EverQuest? Ooh.
Well, Home Focus Entertainment was the publisher for the first game.
Let's take a squeaky peeky. Let's open up Steam real quick and let's go check. Also, Blake, send what you want to us to look at to fucking Champa. It's easier because of how my computer is set up. What's the name of the thing? Not Conan Exiles. Fire Team
Also on
Elite.
Rumble, Orcon Vulcan said, I won't buy another Funcom game until they get rid of the tether in Conan Exiles. The tether is pretty horrific. I'm not
Who
gonna
did
lie.
that? Who said that?
Orcon Vulcan on Rumble a while ago.
Oh. Well, you should try Dune Awakening, like genuinely.
Dune Awakening is just mechanically better Conan.
It is better. I totally get you though with the tethering. The tethering is a very big deal breaker.
I hate it. It's bad.
Okay, so yeah, 4-player. Okay, yeah, they're right there. All right, so 4-player co-op squad combat expanding from 3 to 4 players. AFE2 introduces deeper team-based mechanics that reward coordination and strategic class composition. New and improved classes each bring distinct playstyles and tactical. Okay, well, there's no way to know what that means until we actually see, so we're going to move on to the next one. Xenomorphs that overwhelm you. The iconic xenomorphs are more ferocious than ever before AFE2's massive variety of new xenomorphs will force players to stay mobile, maintain situational awareness, and use every tool at their disposal. From stun batons for up-close melee action, I wouldn't want to be up close, but yeah, in those most desperate moments, up to pyro and electric ammo to whittle down the unrelenting xenomorph. Front before you, before they overrun you and your squad. The battle can shift from calculated tension to desperate last stand in seconds. Specialist class, play your way. Beyond expanded weapons and gear, customization in AFE2 introduces the Specialist, a fully customizable class that lets players mix and match major and minor abilities from every available class. Build a loadout tailored to your exact playstyle and fill whatever role your squad needs.
I really like that because I usually have issues with rigid class systems because it's always the case for me of I like this class, but I also like this aspect of this class, and I don't like this aspect in this class. I'm always like in between classes. So that specialist class is either going to be one or two things. It's going to be the most broken class in the game because you can mix and match abilities, or it's going to be the weakest because there'll be things that you can't get from the other classes. And
That
so it's
might
just
be
going to be a
true.
weaker version of every other class.
The jack of all trades, but the master of none. Yeah.
So it's either you can actually grab any ability from any class, and it's gonna just literally be the most broken class because it won't have any downsides. Or, yeah. Then again, all classes might not just have downsides. So then, they're all lovely balanced because none's like really lacking.
Horde mode, Survive the Swarm. AFE2 launches with multiple dedicated Horde maps that push squads to their limits, battle through escalating waves of xenomorphs and other deadly enemies, earning increasingly valuable rewards as you survive deeper into the onslaught. This is where teamwork and skills are. Okay, so a new game mode they're adding. I don't remember that being the
Well,
base.
wasn't there a horde mode released in the first game? But I think it was only like one map.
Maybe. Maybe they're going to be focusing on it a bit more. Harlot gives 2 memberships. Very generous, Harlot. Thank you very much. But yeah, this looks pretty interesting. You can see that you're going to be fighting synthetic enemies too.
Yeah. It's also the third membership Holland's gift. He hit Indio, but he hasn't hit
My God, they made
any
a
of the
monkey.
max tier. He hasn't hit Trusty or Commissar for a max tier bounty, or Semper Tantrum for a personal bounty.
Look, monkey, Xenomonkey, or
It's gonna be
Zunky.
so tanky.
You know it. I will say it looks like the visual design of things, like there's a lot more detail to them. And I do notice
one
that they
thing-
climb on the walls too, which is good.
Well, they did in the first game, but they clearly had set paths.
Hopefully they got that, make it more like natural.
Yes. Oh, what was I about to say? I forgot, Chatfish.
You stupid fucking chumpa. He's like, eep. He just cries. Good, good.
Well, Chatfish, as a reminder, final week to get on the MechWarrior 5 thumbnail, the Dwarf RTS thumbnail, and the Conflict Global Storm thumbnail.
Yes, you have time to beat Bucky. Harlan, are you doing your part for House Davion?
Yes, he
Bucky's
has.
trying to make House
Even though he
Snyder win.
doesn't say give his tag, I know every time he's said a tag, it's been Davion, so I've been counting it.
Good, good.
Yes, it does, Harlan. But yes, House Davion is closing the gap.
Good, good. They're good. I got the other articles, Chunky.
One from Blake about a VR studio getting potentially shuttered.
Let's take a squeaky peeky. Why did it open up an internet edge? That's annoying.
Don't question it.
Whatever. So let's see. Report VR specialist Servios has laid off the majority of its development team. Well, you did make a VR game, so that's kind of be expected. That's kind. VR games aren't really in anymore. VR-focused studio Servios has reportedly laid off the bulk of its development team. That is regrettable and unfortunate for them. The Alien Rogue Incursion and Creed Rise to Glory developer, was founded in 2013 and made a name for itself working on licensed titles. The company, however, appears to be in dire straits. In a series of posts on LinkedIn, multiple employees claim that they have been impacted by a debilitating round of job cuts. I was informed today that Servios, as it currently stands, will be essentially shuttered, with all team members responsible for development being let go, including myself, reads one post from a combat designer at the studio. Today, I, along with the majority of the development team, was impacted by layoffs at Servios, blah, blah, another person. So yeah, looks like another studio's going down the gutter. It's a bit of a shame, but, you know, these things happen from time to time. But yeah, moving on. Next.
I have another trailer for Dawn of War 4,
Click.
and then a Steam game that chat would like us to see.
Ah, that game, finally getting made. I've been following that indie for a while.
Yeah, it's a neat one.
So we got another trailer for the upcoming Dawn of War 4, which is supposed to come out this year, I believe.
Time exceeded by 0.35 seconds.
To face the Adeptus Mechanicus is to oppose those who have already calculated your demise. They are not just engineers or scientists, but instruments of war, all in zealous service to the machine god. From the firing lines, the Skitari Rangers' galvanic rifles unleash precision volleys, felling combatants before they reach their positions. Skitari Vanguard advance without hesitation, irradiating those who draw near. The Cataphren breaches are armored servitors, designed to break apart battle lines and fortifications. Corpuscari electro-priests unmake those who dare test their resolve with the raw power of the motive force. Completing the war cohort, lumbering Castellan robots unleash luminous storms of phosphor gunfire, whilst datasmiths carefully alter their battle protocols. Before the enemy can detect when the Adeptus Mechanicus will engage, the Sicarian Ruststalkers have already stalked the battlefield. Utilizing stealth, they can pounce upon unsuspecting foes in a killing frenzy. With the machine god blessing every calculation, the Adeptus Mechanicus send forth their engines of war. Iron Striders are fast-moving sharpshooters, striding tirelessly across the battlefield to lend fire support where they are most needed. Furthering aid, the Onager Dune Crawler is a flexible weapon platform, capable of eradicating any number
It annoys
of
me to
threats.
call that an
When
onager.
the opposition starts to overwhelm, Scorpius disintegrators act as artillery, blasting foes with their Belleros energy cannons. Towering over the battlefield, the Knight Castellan stands ready to unleash its vast arsenal to vanquish all who oppose the Omnisire. What makes the Adeptus Mechanicus true masters of the calculus of war are their stratagems. Whether
Ooh,
using the shroud
those
farm to
PNGs.
disrupt enemy fire or
What the hell? Hold up.
the Adeptus Mechanicus true masters of the calculus.
I don't know if you can see, chat, but like these explosion
That
effects
fire is a
are
PNG.
really, really bad.
I also want to point out how rigid the camera looks. Honestly, if you were to take
This
a
looks-
screenshot of any of this combat, it looks like they're fighting on a grid.
It also looks like it's a turn-based game. Yeah,
Yes,
so
it looks like it's a turn-based fighting on a grid. Like, get one of the overview shots, like it's grid.
yeah, it doesn't really feel like.
Like yeah, right there. That looks like they're on grid. They're on a grid and they're just shooting at each other.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, Jano says it as well. They're on a bloody invisible grid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like it.
Opposition starts to overwhelm.
Like they also look so static
Scorpius
and stiff.
disintegrators act as
Yeah.
artillery,
Chatfish, I'm sorry, but this isn't looking so
I
good.
think Dawn of War 4 is
blasting
gonna be
foes with
AS.
their Belleros energy cannons.
Like the effects. Okay, so like the special effects of
Notice
the
how
explosions don't
these
look very
squads
good.
are always like a set distance away from each other. There's no like.
Yeah, there's like
they're
the same
bunched
like
up.
gap here, here, and here.
Grid. It's a
Oh
grid system.
no!
Towering over the battlefield, the The Knight Castellan stands ready to unleash its vast arsenal to vanquish all who oppose the
Oh my god, you're right. Look.
It is a hex grid.
It's the same spacing between each unit.
Notice how the melee, they're all on the same grid as well. They're just moved onto one grid.
Oh no.
It's a hex grid.
No. Oh no.
Look, the
Oh, they
covers
got the
even hex-
same
is set
gaps
up
when
for
they're
hex grid.
moving. The orcs are even organized. No.
It's a hex grid.
Oh my same. Oh no. No. It's a Oh my god.
Total War 4 is down to Rifle, I think.
What,
Chad.
Total Warhammer 40k is our last.
That is
hope.
such a PNG.
The explosion effects are so bad.
Mechanicus, true masters of the
Please tell me that this is all placeholder.
are best
Oh, that's so bad. Oh my. No. No.
the Adeptus
Look at the black smoke when you see explosions.
calculus of war.
Oh my god.
Look at the gray smoke. It's even worse.
What the fuck is
Back up
this?
like a few frames.
This is.
The Adeptus Mechanicus, true
I know.
masters
Oh my god. Oh, Jesus Christ.
of the calculus of
Oh no, that's so
Look
bad.
So bad.
You guys got to clean
There's
that
another
up.
one that comes up if you move it forward like a few frames.
Yeah. Oh my god.
There it is. You can just
It's
see it rise
so
up.
bad. It's like it doesn't even. Oh my god. No, it's so bad. Oh, why is that look
This is
so
gonna come out. It's
bad?
actually gonna be a real-time grid-based game. It's a turn-based grid
Chatfish.
game, but like they made it real time.
I hate to say it, but I think Total War Warhammer 40k is our last hope, and that's not. That's not
I
a.
think Warhammer 4 is just bad.
We're so fucked.
Welcome to the stream, Jimmy says. Hello's everyone been looking because of work. Don't forget to like the stream, Chatfishes.
Good to see you, Jimmy. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good time at work. Making them Jimbos.
It is. This is so bad.
Chat, this is not good. Like, the
This
graphics
is a
look
repackaged
bad.
mobile game. I would believe it, Kevin Root, given how this looks. I would 100% believe that.
Like, look at the visuals. Like, this looks bad. Like, this, it just doesn't, no. This can't be.
are their stratagems.
Kibbs, are you excited for the fact that this is the play area? You're just on a set grid map.
Disrupt enemy
Oh my god. The orcs have the same
Notice how it's a
little
square?
gaps.
How they're always on a square?
No, it's not that they're on a square. I think it's like a hex thing. Or
It is
the-
a hex system, but I'm
There's
saying
some
the
sort
play
of
area is always
there's
a
some sort of
square.
code where like units have to be within a certain distance of each other.
fire.
Maybe that was done for
Exactly.
unit pathing, but it looks really it looks identical every time I see it.
Yes, and look how bad the combat looks. They just stand there. There's no reaction to getting shot.
Yeah, they just shoot each other and nothing happens.
Summoning
Even them shooting.
Adeptus Mechanicus.
Oh my god, chat. I'm sorry, but this is really bad. Oh, we gotta take a look at this. Let's slow this bad boy down. So yeah, look at them shooting, right? They are not reacting at all to being shot.
They also have like 2 frames of animation for shooting, by the way.
Yeah, it's like pew 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 pew. They have no motion.
Look at the orcs. Let's look at the orcs.
I know. They're firing like volleys. Chatfish. I'm sorry. I know some of you were looking forward to this, but this looks real scuffed. Hopefully this gets polished before the release. This is not good.
Oh look, the orcs are moving to a different grid.
Oh my god. That's terrible.
They cut away because they were about to stop moving.
Yeah. That looks so bad.
So bad. Hey, look, no. Oh, there was a reaction when he exploded.
Oh, they have a melee animation.
Wow.
Holy shit.
But why did blood splurt out of him?
Yeah, what? Hold up. What? What? Huh, deflect. Oh, like what? Why is blood squirt out of... Wait, hold up. There's blood squirts. What? No. What? What? Oh, this is so
This is worse than Iron
sloppy.
Harvest, Gregors.
This is actually, I think. Oh my god. Chatfish.
Do the orcs even have red blood? Yes, they do. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's actually not an axe, it's a bucket of paint.
That's bad. That's so bad. You cannot do that.
That's horrific.
Yeah, I meant to say chatfish, but I said chatfucks because I was so like this, that, like, what?
Man, that grid combat behind him looks amazing though, doesn't it?
It looks so bad visually.
No wonder they have all the
And then he bleeds
smoke.
again.
Oh, look at this. Hold on. Look at the smoke effects while they're fighting.
Oh, it's to mask the
back.
lack of animations. Yeah, there's just smoke
Yep.
popping up. Oh, that's really bad. Holy shit.
So they just have a bunch of particle effects to hide that there's no animations.
What annoys me the most about this is that Iron Harvest was not a good game. It was bad. But one thing it did well was the mech animations, and the mech combat was really cool. The mechs were the best part. Everything else was
Iron
bad.
Harvest is another example of a game succeeding fairly well for a Kickstarter and then just pissing away the money.
Yeah, just fuck. Yeah, because I paid for the edition to get my portrait in the game, but I chose not to. I ignored that email.
I got the special edition with like the bag and like shit.
Yep, I got the canvas bag, the big painting, and the fucking
At least the
model.
canvas bag is relatively nice.
Yeah, it's actually canvas, unlike
Fallout, so credit where credit is due. It's actually canvas.
At least they delivered their physical goods.
It's over there behind me.
Folded up. But
Also,
yeah,
the trash can mech is adorable.
it is. But yeah, like, oh my god, chat. I'm sorry, chat bros. This ain't chat bros. I know some of you were looking.
We're not done.
I know.
We
I'm
gotta
gonna
finish
resume the
video.
speed back to normal though. Like, chat, this does not look. Chatfish, come here. It's okay. I just told him like. It's okay.
This looks so bad. It's not even funny. Yeah, this is just atrocious.
Chat,
I would be ashamed to reveal this.
Chatfish. Okay, for the thumbnail, I have an idea for the art.
Okay, the only
Hold
way
on.
I wouldn't be
Hold on.
ashamed is if the game.
I
Was a
have an
hex
idea
game.
for the thumbnail. The chatfish who buy onto the thumbnail should be equally spaced apart with the same distance in a hex grid. With a hex, and should not have, and one should just randomly have blood squirting like above their hair, their dorsal fin, with a blank expression. Like, oh.
Like, if this was a indie project's first thing and they are doing a hex-based, turn-based game, okay, like it still needs a lot of work, but like, okay, the hex makes sense. Like, this should not be game footage for an RTS.
Yeah, this is one of those cases of like, so the issue with this is that it, you know, let's just watch this video and we'll talk about it. Oh, I forgot to turn on the audio again. Whoops, my bad.
Summoning the motive force to deliver the wrath of the machine god with the litany of the electro.
The lore of those Walker mechs
Oh,
is
God.
retarded, by the way.
Now that I notice things, it's so
Goes
bad.
forth from two augmented commanders. Players can choose between techno
Yeah, those
archaeologist
two-legged
Potentia
walkers are
Delta
so
9
dumb.
or the Skitari Marshal Sec X-23. Potentia Delta 9 sends servo skulls ahead, scouting enemy movement and uncovering ambushes. Able to
I like how none of them
identify
shot the servo skull like they would in
free
other
to
games.
augment their war gear, from using a phosphor blaster for close range to a plasma caliber for longer range combat. Sec X-23 marches forward accompanied by his
I
Skitari
can't get over the
vanguard,
grid.
making him a formidable opponent as he enhances his allies. Always analyzing, always in control. To the Adeptus Mechanicus, a battlefield is nothing more than an unrefined forge. Constructing the most advanced structures among the factions, they establish themselves across Kronos.
At least the buildings have animations.
Expanding their new sphere network to increase the flow of holy data, output and optimization. The more
Has more
powerful
animations than the
network
units.
becomes,
They do.
more easily the divine ordination of the machine god
This looks like a
empowers
mobile
the
game. Hey, look, the buildings are on a grid too.
The Adeptus
Now hold on.
Mechanicus
Just because it looks like a mobile game here means maybe it won't be as bad in the game.
quest for knowledge
That does happen from time to time.
falter.
Chat though.
There's 100% a grid. Even the buildings are on a grid. Chatfish.
Yeah, it's some sort of grid. Like I don't know why. Maybe it's just there's something wrong here. They gotta get that under control. Oh God, is Dawn of War 4 just gonna be Dawn of War 3 again? Cause it kind of
It
looks
actually
like
works worse than Dawn of War 3.
it kind of looks like yeah. I mean, Dawn of War 3, at least the special effects had flashy and exploding.
At least it wasn't a grid.
Yeah, at least it wasn't on the grid. Like if I was playing a turn-based game, okay, sure,
Here's
but
the
this isn't turn-based.
Kino, they made Dine Harvest. They know how to make an RTS, not a great one, but they know how to make an RTS. How the fuck did they forget everything?
I would actually argue, do they? Because I played that game and it was not very good.
Yeah,
like,
but units could at least path around. It wasn't a grid.
I mean, they sort of could have. Like you're not remembering all. So, let me remind people. So, in fucking Iron Harvest, there was this cavalry hero unit for the Polanskia or whatever the fuck they were called, Polania or whatever, and they could like charge into mechs and they would just push them around the map, and it was really bad. And what was bad about it was that it was better than mechs, and so the literal like linchpin of the cover art of the game was actually undermined by the cavalry unit being better than them, and it was like okay.
Well, there was clearly favoritism with the mechs as well, because that like one with the bayonet charge could devastate every other mech if you hit them at the right angle.
I mean, it felt like Polania was kind of overpowered unfairly, but that that felt
Good
like
night, Moogie.
there was a bias there because
You have dreams of loot.
Goodbye, Moogie, you fat little son of a bitch. He's like, it's just wheezing. Hey, look, the German Federation thingy's on here. That's another game with this. Federal Ministry of Research, Technology, and Space. With funding from the
because
federal
that makes sense for 40K.
Yeah, with federal funding. Federal funding. Where's my federal fucking funding? You know what the Mixers Project lives on?
Kibbs, the game isn't gay.
Duct tape, gum, and
enough.
spit.
Not gay enough, Kibbs. I also think, Rifford, at this point, you've probably put enough towards Two Towers, since every time you give me my choice, I put it there. So I'm just going to put you down on it.
Yo, Rifford, you're kind of like a femboy. He's like, what the fuck? And then like got a little lipstick on his lips. Like, that's me. That explains the pride flags. Oh, there wasn't pride flags in this, was there?
I didn't see any.
That better not be. I would have blown a gasket. The fuck? Pride flags in a fucking... Oh my god, that's so fucking retarded. Just imagine it, right? Like, there's the Mechanicus.
Also,
like,
the Adeptus Mechanicus would be extremely against the idea of non-binary.
Yeah, because they don't like...
They quite literally speak binary.
They believe in the two genders. Just like,
They quite literally... Binary is their entire basis.
Oh my god. Super crunchy.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Coming to you live 1990.
Welcome to 1999. They announced Dawn of War 4. It was delayed to 2002, but this is what we got. It was pretty state of the art for the time.
Chatfish spit on Kibbs for this game. Chatfish would not even. Chatfish have a heart. They wouldn't make Kibbs play this game. They wouldn't fund it.
Chatfish wouldn't. They wouldn't do that to Kib. Actually, they would. You know why? Because we have to play it. It's on the list of have to plays, you monkey. Now let's look at this.
I was attempting reverse psychology, Kibbs.
Yeah, well, that's a lie. It's not a reverse psychology. Now let's look at this. Oh, that audio. Whoops, should have turned that off.
It's so bad.
Stop that. Oh god, that was pretty bad.
Look at it. It did a come at me, bro pose.
That explosion effect is really bad. The reason why I'm slowing it down is because it's noticeable how bad it is. Not just because we're trying to nitpick here. Like, that does not look good. Like, it looks super crusty.
I'm trying to keep an eye on anything that's, like, moving. And I'm noticing they cut away before anything stops moving. It's all either mid run, or they're not moving at all.
The melee looks bad. Like the melee looks bad, the shooting looks bad, the visual effects. Oh god, that's so bad. Like, oh god, why?
Yeah,
Oh,
they have to
those
put all
little
the effects in
poofs.
so you can't see the stains.
Like,
Yeah,
what the hell?
they cut away before anything either engages in melee or like stops moving.
It's like they don't want you to. Well, they showed this, but it's like
Oh,
very
this
scripted.
yeah, this reaches.
And then they cut to
Nope,
the
they cut away
fighting.
before yeah, they cut away before he actually engages in melee.
Chat bros, I think this game's gonna suck ass. It might not be terrible, but it doesn't look good. Is the issue I'm seeing here.
That cut away again.
I mean, they do show some melee actually, but it's always ongoing.
Yes, it's never you see the charge hit. I've not seen that.
Which
Also,
is
not seen
weird.
anything stop moving.
It's weird that you point that out because it's like it does. I mean, there is a scene where the charge does hit
Well, no,
in this game.
the one.
I like how
Where?
their guns are literally M1 Garans. Like, what the fuck? It's like GW doesn't even know what art direction is anymore. It's like, bro, just fucking.
Oh my god, no, Kibbs, go back. That thing did stop moving. Go back a bit more. The bottom orc group is moving, and then it just full stops.
No. Oh god. The
Yep.
way it stops. No, you're right.
It just snaps into position because it's on a grid.
It snapped in position. Look at the bottom orc unit there. Snap.
You could see the one literally teleport to snap into the new animation position.
Boop. That's why, God, why?
Which tells me, Kibbs, the reason we aren't seeing the charge attacks hit is because they would snap into a different state of engaged in melee. Also,
Chat.
yes, those walkers, their entire lore is their perpetual motion machine. They have to constantly move.
That's really dumb.
And the reason, like, when they're
That's
not in use,
really-
they constantly run in circles because they don't know how to turn them off or on.
Okay, there comes a point when your writing is actually retarded. That is actually retarded. What?
But that's why whenever they're shown, you see them, like, stomping left and right, even though they're not moving, because they have to keep moving. So that's lore accurate.
I suppose.
It's dumb, but it's lore accurate.
Papa Palpatines.
Oh my god, that looked so bad.
Yeah, that did actually. Holy
Did
fuck.
you see that animation? And then he snaps into the we're in melee combat animation.
Yeah, that's the reason why they're not showing melee.
That's the reason they're not. So that is an actual indication of the charge attack going in. Oh my god, it's so bad.
Look at him. Stop. Snap.
It snaps to do a new position for an animation.
Oh, that's really rough. What the fuck? How can this be worse than Dawn of War 1? I don't get it.
I think it actually is a mobile game, Gibbs. A grid-based mobile game.
I'm just flabbergasted, chat. I'm just taking it all.
Oh.
I'm taking in how retarded this is. Like, there's little gaps between the units, even. Like, what the fuck? Help me. You can even see them from first. Oh, fucking god. Now, this is the certain scene where they show the actual charge, by the way.
They just kind of charged through them.
They have some animations.
Well, they have melee combat animations.
Yeah, when the animations play, they look all right.
But that charge attack, they just kind of moved through the unit.
There's no kinetic weight of it.
Yes, they just kind of slid through. Like, look at the bottom right one.
Yeah, you're right. There's no kinetic weight.
They're moving into the same grid, and then they're going to snap into the
the same tile, yeah.
Yeah, then they're going to do the melee combat animation.
That is so weird. Do you guys see that? Yeah, they actually have to snap in there. The one thing I will say is I do like some of the little animations where they're fighting.
Some
just-
animations are pretty decent,
Yeah.
but every other animation is just honestly be better if it didn't have any, practically.
Yeah, it's like the shooting animations are bad. Makes me suspicious.
I did like how the Titan drop, or the whatever they're called. It did a come at me, bro, and it stepped out of its drop pod.
It's like, what are you gonna do? Fight me or something? And he dies. Oop.
Speaking of, look at the orcs big mech.
Wait, did I miss it?
It's in the top left. Look at that animation.
I mean, it looking dumb and spurgy is kind of how I imagine, though it doesn't look amazing. My biggest thing is actually the orc infantry and how the orc mechs just kind of like aren't. They just feel like they're just kind of static, you know? Like nothing feels like it's actually doing anything.
The big walkers are knights. Alright, knights. Thanks, chat.
I don't know. I've got some suspicions. I would be very skeptical of this game, chat, until they do some sort of public test where we can actually get our hands on it, or you guys get your hands on it. You can apply for their beta, but I've not been able to get in. But then again, they also asked for who I was, so that's probably why.
There's also probably an NDA tied to it.
Probably why. There is. I'm in the Discord server, I know. Like, even if I did get access, I couldn't even tell you. But yeah. Richard donates £5, says, great podcast. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Very generous. We at the Bickering Bunch provide the best content. Just kidding. We provide the best content you can have. It's like,
It upsets me that Kibbs is still a wizard.
well, $10
And he's not a
can
pickle.
change.
Chatfish, $10. Make him an Asian pickle.
No. Also, some of those don't work well together. Bear that in mind.
That one worked fine. Those two
I
worked.
don't think it did. I think you're lying to me. I think
Pretty sure
you're
it did.
a fucking dirty little fucking liar is what you are. Dirty little fucking liar. All right, so Motor Slice Man. So this is an indie game I've seen on Steam. Oh, it's out already? What? It's out. It's discounted, 10% off.
When
20
did it come
bucks.
out?
May 5th, so a couple days ago. It's made by like a, I think it's a solo dev. I'm not entirely sure. It's cute anime girl does things.
A small team, I'm pretty sure.
Is it a team? I thought it was one
I
person.
know one of the things I saw was about like them adding picture mode and stuff.
But basically, it's like, oh God, help me. Oh, the voice work is terrible. Oh. Oh no. Oh no.
It's fight giant industrial machines.
Yeah, basically I think it's like what's that fucking game called? With the scale? Shadow of the Colossus is what this is inspired by.
I can see that. Get a further discount from in Labyrinth of the Demon King?
Yeah, it's Shadow of the Colossus, basically.
Of course, the massive jiggles on the parry.
How the fuck did she parry that? How the fuck did she
Don't question it.
It's a game for some people. For sure.
Mechanically, it looks cute.
Yeah, the voice acting was pretty bad. I don't know. Does it have Japanese? No, it does not. Or wait, no.
No, it does not.
No, it does not.
They are definitely leaning into look at our cute girl to market the game, though.
That seems to be the hope. It's published by Top Hat Publisher, who doesn't have anything I see that jumps out at me as notable.
Looks like they
Oh,
publish a lot
Citadel.
of
That was like
smaller
popular.
games.
Yeah,
Smaller teams, I should say.
sort of like a small AA publisher. Interesting. Well, either way. Is that everything? I think that it is, isn't it?
Let me do a quick check. We got 2 more trailers.
Fuck, Chatfish are
And
finding
a couple
stuff.
more. So
Like,
not early access, have co-op or multi. Okay, I'm just gonna read this quick because this is. I'll go over that myself. Let's grab this trailer from the Moogs.
This isn't near.
Exodus. I mean, okay, Lego Batman trailer.
Fucking Chatfish. They're like, Wiggles. Wiggle.
And let me look at this quick article, which is just a massive article of does it have co-op.
All right, so Exodus. Exodus is
So
another.
Subnautica 2 is gonna have co-op on launch, apparently.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's take a look at Exodus.
He has a glowy hand. Arm. Where'd Big Guy come from?
He's one of the companions. I've seen some stuff in this game. It looks kind of interesting. Seems very Mass Effect inspired. Two, like an action RPG with two little character companions that have different abilities. Might be interesting, might not be. Jumping and guns. Okay, that feels like a fucking troll. Let's see, Exodus.
The Expanse game looks much more interesting, honestly, says Russian Sundals.
Potentially. I wouldn't just count a game out entirely until we see more. I think we shouldn't dismiss something initially. But, depends, right? 50-minute hooks are important. Oh, no!
Wizards of the Coast, I've kind of lost interest.
Alright, chat. I mean, I'm still gonna look at it, but my optimism just flatlined there. Oh, no! I saw it a second time. No,
I'm a friend.
I'm a friend. Are you LGBTQ+?
Celestials are the enemy of humanity.
The enemy of humanity.
A relentless threat to our very survival. I can't do this anymore.
Damn.
Salvaging scraps just to get by.
Oh no.
Child of Orion, fulfill the purpose for which you were crafted.
I just had a thought and I hope I'm wrong.
So you get MacGuffin powers because you found a MacGuffin thing. Very Mass Effect with that, because you don't get MacGuffin powers in Mass Effect, but you find out the plot.
You do in Andromeda.
That's true.
Well, that's terrifying.
So you think they're gonna go the Baldur's Gate route, and there'll be a scene with the doggo?
Fuck.
But with the right ship and the right crew, you could save all of us.
I was on an alien world. Felt like I was finally doing what I was made for.
It doesn't look bad, but yeah, now I'm starting to see what chat's saying.
Thank you.
It's feeling on the bit of the... Oh no, it does that thing.
The defenders of Leiden's future.
It's very Star Wars races.
We will fight to protect it. The fight
But we'll see.
survival has consequences.
So Russian,
How
or not,
far
Richard
are
Phillips
you willing
says,
to venture?
doing the scroll a tiny bit. I'm not missing it initially, I've been following it for months. I've tried to read the source novel and I disliked intentionally. It's about transhumanism and matriarchy.
Damn, kid. No pressure there.
We'll have to see, though. Well, we'll fucking find out in a year from now. So, not anytime soon. 2027. Which, what was the other game called? It was called Expanse. That's probably going to come out.
I'm very interested in this. I didn't get to catch the stream, though.
Oh, that's also coming out next year. This could be interesting, Though, if you don't like the TV show, it's based on the TV show.
That is the unfortunate bit, but so long as it's not, it's kind of still doing its own thing. It's just based on the universe of the TV show, and it should be fine.
We'll have to see, though. I have my own skepticism because I was worried about, because there's a big decision in the demo you can make, right? One is like you can save the space station or not. Expanse is going to be really woke, probably Stone Age. I mean, it's probably going to be because Owlcat games themselves are woke, as I apparently found out recently from other people. The question is, are they going to let that bleed into the game? And if they do, then yeah, it's going to suck.
Everything I've seen when they're talking about the game development sounds like they have a lot of passion for making a good world and mechanics, but we'll see if, they decide
I've
to make
never
propaganda
played a
instead.
good Owlcat game. I think every game I played of theirs has been bad.
This, I think, is the real
Except
first one.
this.
It's not just them making a board game, but
because Rogue Trader was pretty bad.
And
again, the space system the game's based off of is bad.
Yeah, the issue with Rogue Trader's basing on the pen and paper mechanics was a bad idea. Because Rogue Trader as a system for Fantasy Flight games is really bad. It's just
I'll say
really,
this with Expanse.
really meh.
If you can achieve total belt of death, it'll be worth it.
The Chatfish are calling them Woke Cat Studios. No, Chatfish step.
I have one last thing then
Chatfish
from Plaka, which is a bit more of an announcement for chat.
But we'll have to wait and see, because actions speak louder than words, Chatfish. They always do. What?
Or was the demo fun?
The demo was okay. It was not amazing in terms of its gameplay, but it wasn't bad. It was, in retrospect, serviceable. The interesting thing was, I think, the story decisions and the implications of your decisions and what they actually do. Whether the choices you make and the characters and relationships you form and how they interact with each other. Also, it was really kind of not the best demo, in my opinion, because while there was a big decision in it, and it felt like that's why they said it during that, you really don't build up any real connection with any of the characters. And then it also like kills off like half those characters if you make one decision, which makes me go like, okay, well, like what was my attachment to them? So it's one of those cases where a demo, I think it was a kind of a bad demo. Like if you're gonna do a demo, you need to pick it like be at the beginning of the game and just do the beginning, so I can build up my connection to these characters. So you don't just like kill them off, and I'm like, okay, well now I don't know anything about the guy in charge of the space station or that Larry guy. He's dead. I like Larry. Larry seems like a nice guy, actually. I'm actually rooting for Larry. Larry seems like a chill dude. But the problem with Larry is that Larry can die if you choose one ending a certain way. And I really hate that, because it's like, well, that sucks. Like if you choose, okay, so basically the big choice is you go to the director, somebody's boarding the station, and then like you can convince them to fight back or not fight back. And if you convince them to like not like just surrender to the guys coming in, the Pink Waters or whatever the hell, then they surrender to them and they come on board the station. And then they don't fight back. But if you convince them to fight back, they all fucking die. They get slaughtered. And it all it really made the difference was, what was cool is like whether or not the station defense guys actually fight alongside you or not, or whether there's combat counters. You get to also ambush them. So there is some cool stuff there. Like there is some cool stuff, but I'm worried because I'm concerned about the BioWare problem. If you know what I'm talking about when I talk about BioWare, BioWare has this lovely tendency to be like, we're going to operate in extremes. If you do this, this person lives. If you do this, they die. So what does that mean? Well, that means that character you interact with has very little impact on the story, meaning that their interactions are less important and characters are kind of like very short-lived, if that makes sense. And so you kind of don't like get super attached. The Knights of the Republic game has this. The Chinese game, or Chinese-themed one they did, Shadow or Jade Empire had that too. And so I'm worried if they're going to fall down the BioWare thing, where you can kill people off, but it's like, ooh, like don't actually kill people off though, because killing people off is actually bad, because like you introduce characters and then you just kill them right away. And it's like, god damn. Like, what was his story? I don't know. He's dead. No, he's dead. Look at him. He's a little dead body over there.
The Pondazan starts the Subnautica 2 thumbnail.
Thank you for the nation. Very generous. What was the next thing?
Like the big one. Bit of an announcement for chat.
Okay. We'll do that one next. We have the Lego Batman game because Chatfish have chosen Lego Batman. Who chose this? Which Chatfish? God damn it, English. There's actually several Chatfish I know who like this. The Lego games have a tendency to be actually pretty okay.
They're cute little games. Very tongue-in-cheek.
The Skywalker Saga Lego game wasn't bad. Like, it was actually okay.
Hand over the purse and the plans.
It does have voice acting, though. That is actually a massive controversial thing in the Lego games. I know that much. He's getting shit on.
Okay. Just a man.
Because TT Games actually they're good game makers, actually, in my opinion.
Then you become something else. Entirely. And that is... a legend, Mr. Wayne.
Goodbye, ad revenue.
Would you mind if I borrowed these?
Way I see it, all this stuff is yours anyway.
Huh, hold on.
Anyway.
They have rain effects on the Legos as if the Legos themselves are wet. That's kind of funny. All right.
I did all right in there, kid. Oh, wow!
He thinks he works alone, but there's always someone there by his side.
Meow.
I will take everything from you.
Get ready, Gotham, to have a cold heart like mine.
Oh my god.
Yes, they're doing the old movies.
They are.
Beautiful.
Okay, this might actually be amazing now. This might
What
be.
killed Titus? The icy.
You're welcome.
It might be wonderful, Chatfish.
It might actually be wonderful.
It's just adapting all the Batman movies.
That's what it looks like. Yeah, Legacy of the Dark Knight. So they're just adapting all the movies into one game. I actually like when TT Games do stuff like this because it's really cool. Their games are genuinely pretty good.
Where was it? Flake says they got the bat nipple suits.
That's pretty good. This might actually be fun, chat. This might actually be fun. We'll have to find out. Might actually pick this one up. Pick it up off the
It might be wonderful.
ground.
The Lego games are pretty consistent with their quality.
Let's see. Back to El Discorde. Next up we have World War II game sales starts May 7th, which is today, Chatfishes, and ends the 14th at 10 a.m. PDT. That's got games like Valkyria Chronicles. You know,
It's
it's
themed.
I suppose. Then there's also CTA Gates of Hell, which is actually pretty fun. It's got a flawed engine.
Let's
Panzer Elite,
recommend it for Kibbs.
Commandos Origins, Bomber Crew, Ground Aces, Sudden Strike. Sudden Strike 4 is actually worth $4. It's actually not bad. Isle 2 Stormovic, Men of War Assault Squad, Panzer Corps. I mean, the problem is I own a lot of World War II games. Like, see? Owned. Nice. I'm glad that Company Heroes has decided to remain at retail 60 during the...
Of course.
What if they seriously are missing out
They
by
know
not
what
doing a
they've
sale?
got.
They know that they've got trash, but yeah. Oh, man.
Don't lowball them. They know what they got.
Don't lowball them. They know what they got. They got something all right. I wonder if the Company Heroes are on sale. Yeah, there's a lot of vidges on sale, Chatfishes. Now you can check them out and become a World War II fishy. Become a World War II. I'm just gonna check because Company Heroes is one of the more pronounced. They're not on sale. Interesting. Well, Company Heroes, the older Company Heroes, are alright. What about Ruse? Ruse isn't on sale, and it's a World War II game as well.
Ruse did just come out though.
Oh yeah, as an announcement, Eugen got Ruse back from Ubisoft, and they've re-released the game with an update. I played it; it's pretty fun. It's basically just a little bit polished up. It's got all the DLC rolled up into one, and it is available on Steam again. So if you remember Ruse and you liked it, that console RTS from the Xbox 360 era, it's a bit arcadey compared to the other games, but it's very charming. I actually hope that they make a Ruse too. That'd be actually pretty cool. Maybe set in a hypothetical Cold War or something. Or maybe make a sci-fi Ruse. That'd be cool. Explore Modern Warfare. Because I do think World War II strategy games, I do love them, but I feel like there's a lot of them on the market, and if you're not going to be better than them, then maybe we should do something new. Maybe we should.
Oh. Hold on a sec. Might have some breaking news.
What's that, Chunky?
I'll post it.
Check. Just like little fucking beep beep sounds that news.
I only saw it because it was just tweeted about.
Civilization 7 update will finally let players stay as one civilization. Hold up. My God. See, I understand the concept of what they were going for, but yeah, they didn't know how to handle it. Civilization 7 update will finally let players stay as one civ through all ages, as Take-Two boss admits we got it wrong. Holy shit! Chat bitches! Look! I'm in heaps. In heaps. One of their bosses admitted they fucked up on something? In heaps. Like little Pikachu fishes. Civilization 7 is set for a major update that finally lets players stay as one civ through all ages, as the boss of the parent company, Take-Two, has admitted. We got it wrong. Civilization 7 is over a year old now, and has fewer players on Steam than both Civilization 6 and the then 15-year-old Civilization 5. God help me. That game's 15 years old? Oh my god, I remember when Civ 5 was new, and people hated it too. So Sid Meier's Civilization has this trend of games usually release and they usually are hated. So when I first played 7, I'm like, okay, it's kind of normal that it's hated because usually how this goes. But usually they'll figure it out after a couple of years, or like a year, right? Not a couple of years. Like after a couple of months, they usually patch it and put it back in the way people want it. But Sid Meier's 7 was fundamentally flawed. While the idea of like civilizations transitioning in ages to be different cultures was a cool principle, the issue is that it's like, well, Castile transitions into becoming Mongolia. It's like, what? Like, or Rome transitions into becoming Mongolia or something like that. Or like the Khans. Like, that doesn't really make sense, though. Like, Rome could maybe transition into becoming like the French or the Germans, maybe, or maybe the Lombards, or you could be transitioned into the Byzantines. But because like those make sense because those cultures are connected, right? Like the Scythians would transfer into like something like the Mongols or something, right? But the issue is that it didn't really work that way. The cultures weren't transitioning into cultures that were actually part of the familial structure or hereditary of that culture. It were just transferring into random cultures all over the place, which created a very weird thing, right?
Look at me. I am the Huns now.
Yes, and then there's also the eras problem. The era system is a cool concept where you go through different eras and then the world advances. That's cool. However, what's not cool is when you're doing a cool war and I'm having this awesome battle with a nation, and then the era transitions, and then all my units are just disappear. They're just gone. That's really annoying. Chat, it's really annoying when that happens. Because it's like, poof, they're just gone. It's like, where'd my armies go? Where'd all my stuff go? The war I was winning. I didn't even get like a peace deal. I was winning it. And it's like, it's gone. Yeah, there's a lot of problems with Sid Meier's 7. And what's funny is they try to make the box art for like the special edition look like the OG Sid Meier's box art. They get fucking Sid Meier to like talk about the game even. And then the game just like is a vast departure from it. Then they add random fucking like black woman to the game. And I'm not saying like, oh, it's like a black leader from like the Kushites or Aksum or something like that, right? It's fucking Marriott or something Tubman for America. And it's like, what?
if you're gonna do like black leaders for America that are presidents or whatever, like there is one that exists. You could do Barack Obama, and it would be a terrible choice, but you could do it, right? But maybe let you choose what kind of president you get, and they get different bonuses. Like you can pick, FDR. You can pick, you can pick fucking Washington, or you can pick Abraham Lincoln, or whatever, and they get
You
different
pick
bonuses.
Lincoln, half your territory is no longer yours.
You have to fight a civil war mandatory. It's like, fuck. Harriet Tubman, yeah. But the problem with Harriet Tubman is she's not a leader of a nation. Like, not to be mean,
She
but
wasn't even really a historical figure.
yeah, she's also kind of like people have inflated her to be bigger than she really was, and not to diminish what she did, but like she didn't do a whole lot compared to other people. Sid Meier's Civilization isn't about celebrating mediocre or okay or good. It's about celebrating greatness. It's about celebrating great leaders, like
Pick Obama for drone bonuses.
for drone. We're like, but yeah. So, is this a trailer talking about it? Let's see.
We have complete clearance for launch. We are go.
Let's just open it in YouTube. I can't.
We have complete clearance for launch. We are go.
I hate this website. Because look at how artifacty it is. Play in any nation in any age. Okay, that addresses that problem. Keep or swap your civ at age transitions. Rule without limits. Okay, so what? What does that mean? Customize your empire with syncretism? They're trying to hype this up with like that big thing, but honestly, I'm not entirely sure if that's going to fix the game. Let's see what the little bucket fishes that play the game are saying about it. Let's see. Civilization. That's not the right one. That's 6. Well, it's still at mixed. Trending downwards slightly. Trending downwards.
So they designed the entire game around this idea of chained civilizations, and now they're going to remove it.
Well, you can keep your civilization. You can choose.
Does that as Gregor's asked, does that mean that you'll switch eventually or miss out on more modern buffs? Yeah,
I
how's it
have
gonna work?
no idea. The issue is they didn't really expand on it, did they? It's like, we're going to do this because you asked for it.
So you just like, if you pick an early age civ, you just locked in and you don't tech up ever?
The comments are interesting. Too little, too late. They need to pivot to Civ 8. Nah, if I know Civ fans, this will become the new best one, so they can moan about Civ 8 for years. So there is some validity into that, by the way. So as somebody who played Sid Meier's Civilization 3, was my first game, right? I didn't play 2. People actually go crazy about 2, or Call to Power, whatever it is, and people really praise that one a lot. But I played Sid Meier's Civilization 3, and I remember liking it, but it was my first game, right? Then I remember Sid Meier's Civ 4 came out, and people, like, whinged about it when it came out. They're like, me, and the Civ 3 is better. And then Civ 5 comes out, and like, Civ 4 is better, me. And then, like, it kind of did happen. But I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the same case. Yes, that did happen. This happened in Civ 5. This happened Civ 5 to Civ 4. Or Civ 4 to Civ 5. Civ 5 to Civ 6. Now people praise Civ 6. I didn't even know people did. I thought people didn't like Civ 6. I personally didn't like Civ 6. I also personally didn't care for Civ 5 either, to be honest with you. I thought Civ 4 was okay. I like Civ 3. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But as somebody who's been, like, played these games, I'm not super, like, into them anymore. But it's one of those things I've noticed where it feels like the Civ fandom does have a divisive nature to it, but I feel like that comment kind of misses something. Because this is something I do understand, right? Civ 5 launched poorly, and then it got better over time. Civ 6 launched poorly, and I heard it got better over time. I heard. I never played it, so I don't know. And so, theoretically, Civ 7 launched poorly, and it will get better, and people will talk about it. So I think the issue is that and this is kind of a rhetoric I see in the divisive side of the fandom. Like, yeah, that can be the case, right? Like, yeah, people might praise Civ 7 in the future, but they're not doing it now, are they? Right? You know what I mean? Like, Civ 7 isn't in a good state, so people aren't
I'm not
happy.
sure I heard anyone praise it.
Yeah, well, nobody's going to praise it right now. But if Civ 7 gets good, then people might praise it. You know what I mean? That makes sense? I think that does. Jabba!
Yeah, I get what you're trying to say.
I'm seeking validation! So, like, the reason why people were upset with 5 is the same reason why they were upset for 6, and the same reason why they're upset now for 7. It's still a good reason. It's because the game isn't in a good state. It's not good. You know what I mean? So they need to do better. They need to beef it up. They need to make it what people want it to be. Otherwise, it's not worth it. That's what I'm talking about, Richard. I'm basically saying that every time people have done this, the reason why we have the cycle is not necessarily a problem of the players. It is a problem of the developers. The developers have made this the way. From people maybe looking in, you might be like, oh, Civ fans always complain about the Civ game. And then they learn to love it later on, right? Well, maybe, but it's also another layer to it. They got better over time because Civ 5 did not launch well. I don't think anybody will say that. It launched poorly. Civ 6 was the same case. But I think people are happy with Civ 6 in its current state. Let's take a look. It's at very positive now, but by how much? Yeah, it reached a pretty good state. People are pretty happy with this. Civ 6 is at 86% positive. So they managed to repair the reputation. I also feel like Civ 6 has a more prominent, granted it's cartoonish art style, adverse to the other Civ, which has a bit more of a more serious art style, but it also feels a little washed out with the colors, doesn't it? Feels a little bit by comparison. And then Civ 5 was also kind of washed out looking, if I remember right. Yeah, a little bit. Man, 15 years ago. Holy shit, dudes.
Gonna DM you something here, Kibbs. Quick.
Mayor drums.
There, I've DM'd you. Chibolo.
Yes. Any contributions to that can go towards the daily. Because technically Robin is on payroll. You can say that out loud. It's not a secret.
Yeah, I'm just responding to him in DMs.
Robin made a special deal chat with Semper that he will make an exclusive chatfish for him. But the price tag was astronomical. And I was like...
You all know what the chatfish is going to be.
Yeah.
Because Semper's been trying to get every artist to do the same thing.
Pretty much. And I warned him, like, all right, like, Robin, would you be interested in doing this? He's like, make it benefit the studio and I'll make it happen. And so I'm like, okay. We'll make it benefit the studio. But yeah. No, people were mainly upset about 5 because they changed the way armies work. They did. But people were still upset about it, though. And there were other problems, too. Like, it had problems on launch. All these games did.
I really wanted Beyond Earth to be good.
Beyond
They
Earth
didn't even add
is
multiplayer for that.
fucking terrible. And I don't think it's worth playing even now. Beyond Earth was supposed to be Alpha Centauri again. Apparently people are trying to pretend it's good now. But we all know the truth. It doesn't look good. It looks bad. It looks funny. Looks so derpy. Yeah, Beyond Earth was not a good game. All right, so moving on. Next up we have is nothing. Oh, wait, we caught up? Oh my god, we did it. Yeah, so only time will tell if Sid Meier's Civilization pulls their head out of their ass. If I had to guess, they might, depending on if they listen to feedback, it might be good someday. Who knows? It's really just kind of a, fucking hats in the air, because Firaxis has a track record of this. Because they did this with XCOM 2 as well, where it was fucking shit and then it got better. Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. To be honest, I wouldn't spend too much time worrying about it. I would just play what is good now and then look at it, see if it gets better. If the updates change it, sort of like with Dune Awakening, great, awesome. If not, don't put too much stock into it. You know what I mean? That's just what I gotta say, Chatfishes. Like,
Yeah.
All right, I think that's everything, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna wrap up the stream here. We will see you guys in the next stream, which will be starting in about 30-ish minutes, but I gotta take care of some stuff. And we'll see you in the next stream. Thank you very much for your generous donations. Thank you for hanging out and participating in this glorious little Chatfish bucket. And we'll see you in the next stream. Take care. See you shortly, chat. Bye.